Welcome to The Backlash, a weekly exploration of America's awakening. I am your host, Rebecca Hargraves, joined as always by Mr. Dave Reilly.
Hello.
Black-clad Dave.
What?
Mafia Dave.
I'm just wearing, it's a black t-shirt, black
Spaghetti
blazer.
Dave.
Spaghetti Dave. That works.
How are you doing, Cameron?
I think Dave looks very fetching this evening.
Fetching.
Very European, very waspy, Dave.
Who is paying you people off to say these things?
Okay, so I walked in and I said, "You look fancy, Dave." And he looked like confused and mortified and a little hurt.
True.
I should have said fetching.
Well, remember, Mark Twain said that you can live for 2 months on a good compliment.
I believe it.
I think for Dave, maybe it's 6. We'll see.
You can find us on X at Real Backlash, our website, thebacklash.net. Support us on subscribestar.com/thebacklash. I've heard that we're going to have an interview that's behind a paywall soon. What's going on here?
What's going on where?
Oh, everything just got a little darker. It's okay.
Yeah, let me turn off the lights.
Patreon.com/thebacklash. Send your super chats that will be read live at the end of our show to thebacklash.net/superchat right here on my YouTube channel, our YouTube channel at Real Backlash. We only read $10 and up on Wednesday, so get out your checkbooks. How old am I?
Checkbook.
Get out your checkbooks.
Oh my gosh.
I just read a comment right before we went live that was like, how old is this woman? I can't tell if she's 30, 40, or 50.
Oh no.
And now I'm like, get out your checkbook.
You can send in your checks to P.O. Box 853, Post Falls, Idaho 83877.
You really can send your checks. And people periodically do.
People periodically do.
They
We've got
do.
some fan mail that I'm actually going to
Oh, nice. Okay.
show off in a minute.
Courtesy of Western Union Pony Express. No
I know,
doubt.
right?
Don't forget our Rumble account, Backlash Podcast. You can also send in your Rumble rants. And if we haven't driven it home enough, you can send in your super chats.
Please send super chats.
On all of our YouTube platforms, thebacklash.net/super chat.
Somebody else was like, why are you guys always begging for funds? I'm like,
Because we aren't supported by, like, I don't know, fucking Russia. Like, where is Kim Jong-un?
Yeah,
I could
seriously.
Speaking of checks in the mail, I could use a check, Mr. Un.
yeah, I think that's incoming.
Maybe we should get China to back the show.
We did have Constantine on Monday, and he was talking about how the North Korean system is excellent and effective. So maybe we will be getting some money from China, from North Korea.
The Norks.
Yep.
Hey. Or from you, our wonderful
listeners. Follow us on Instagram, real.backlash, TikTok at backlashpod. Find all of our links at thebacklash.net/subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to Above Time Coffee Roasters, our newest sponsor. That is small batch, handcrafted coffee that Dave drinks at 3 o'clock and still manages to go to sleep.
I'm actually drinking Above Time coffee
Is
right
it the
now.
blonde roast?
Han, what kind is this? It's the blonde.
Nice.
Nice.
Idaho Tallow.
Yes.
Those are skincare products without endocrine disruptors. Thank you, Dave.
Don't forget
Antelope
about
Hill.
their signature gift box. Well, we'll get into that later.
We'll get into that. Antelope Hill, that is publishers of white positive literature. Thank you to all of our sponsors for making this show happen. Thank you, audience, for making this show happen. And yeah, let's get into it. You got some bants today
I do?
about Idaho
I
and
guess.
Jews
A little bit.
and Jewish Idahoans.
Well, Casey Whalen has been busy. He's been very busy. Where is it? He's been putting out some of these reports on his Twitter. You should follow him, Casey_Whalen, WHALEN. There's been a bunch of stuff going on. They are starting to clamp down. There's going to be a bunch of new legislation hitting the legislature in a couple of months for Holocaust education and supporting Israel and making it a crime to criticize Israel. And so Casey has been diligently following up on all of those leads, submitting a bunch of FOIA requests and then reporting on it. And recently he posted this video with Representative Barbara Ehart. That is just so bad. She's
got a real turtle face.
I wish I could play the whole thing. Maybe I'll just play the first 2 seconds.
I want to address, this has been a most interesting experience, particularly because powers that be out there, I don't think until this year, somewhat starting in April, certainly because of this trip, I have realized that anti-Semitism is alive and well. I had absolutely.
She can't even get the word right. Anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism.
Is that
We're
have to do
clearly
with the
not
birth rate or fertility or
There's
something?
not enough anti-Semitism.
Clearly, if she doesn't
if
even
she
know
doesn't even
what
know
the
what
hell
it
that they're
is.
talking. And I love it when like these local journalists too, like they'll be, yeah, I heard that you did an anti-Semitisms. It's like, what? You don't even know what the word that you're saying means. So anyway.
But we do here at
we
the
do.
Backlash.
And so anyway, it is interesting though. Barbara Ehart down in the heart of Mormon country, it was at Idaho Falls area, is where they have this event, Stand Up for Idaho. And she gave a big speech there about anti-Semitism and all the things that we need to do to combat it in the state of Idaho, blah, blah, blah. Well, she got like booed, basically. And a lot of anti-Semitic questions being asked, apparently, of Barbara. So anyway, it's going to be interesting because now I think that our friend Casey might be giving a speech
Oh,
at Stand
really?
Up for Idaho.
What about yours truly?
Maybe. It's possible. Maybe they'll have you down there. I don't know.
I
You ever
will
been?
never do a public speech
But
ever.
it gives me such great hope for southeastern Idaho.
Yeah.
You know, to have this open forum and people pushing back. And it's like the heart of Mormon country. Love
You
it.
are-
Love to hear it.
You are annoyingly positive.
Love to hear
And
it.
like not in a charming way like Cameron is. Cameron's white pills, like that speech he made a couple of weeks ago. I'm like weeping. And it just makes me want to punch you in the face.
We need to get Dave riled up because that means it's bullish for super chats.
I know,
we
right?
gotta piss him off.
Cameron in our meeting today was like, how'd we do last week? I was like, well, Dave didn't have a total meltdown, so real bad. Real bad. We're going to be talking Epstein files, Trump's pressure to pivot, OpenAI, and more on this week's installment of your favorite nationalist podcast. Let's open this fan mail.
Yeah, I forgot about this. This
Is it even fan mail? Is it hate mail?
No, it's fan mail.
Okay, good.
This is from New Zealand.
Really?
Yes. Dear Dave, Cam, and Rebecca, thank you for your uplifting and insightful content. Here is a copy of the newest anti-liberal, anti-modernist Catholic publication, The Plow. We cover the Jewish question, the woman question, and explore the necessary preconditions for functioning society, all through a Catholic lens, all for the glory of God. Dave, turn the mic down. Cam, return to the faith of your fathers. Rebecca, go to confession. God bless, and with my prayers, editor of The Plow.
You know, I am going to confession this week for the first time in 5 years.
Oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. Demons are going to be so pissed.
Well, I'm going because
You're going to finally join the ranks of the attacked. You're going to have a
It's
big
true.
old
It's
target
true.
on your
It's true.
back. You're going to get like a billboard truck probably.
my nephew needs me
All
as a
kinds of things.
sponsor for his conversion because he's in the process. And I was like, do I have to be in good standing with the church? And he was like, Aunt Rebecca, yes, of course you have to be. And I was like, well, I better do that.
Yeah, here, can I put this up? Yeah, there it is. So,
Yeah, very cool.
The Plow. Definitely check them out. I need to find out how much it would cost to actually subscribe because I bet the shipping on this was like $20.
Oh man.
But this is great. Hopefully,
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the. And you can follow them on Twitter too, if you want. If you're into that type of thing, anti-modernist, anti-liberal, Catholic. Theplow.inc is the at. Theplow.inc. Anyway.
Let's get their numbers up on Twitter. Theplow.inc. That is what they are on X. If you did a good job explaining
Twitter,
that. Sorry.
6 of 1.
Sorry. This
Thank you.
Epstein thing, I hope that nothing has broken in the last few hours. Although I'm so sick of hearing about it because I just know that nothing is going to happen. I'm on team nothing ever happens. So once again, everybody's all excited about this and I just don't think anything is going to happen. Can you pull up one? So 2 days ago now, was this yesterday? The House passed legislation to release all the Epstein files. The one guy that voted against it, you can guess where his allegiances lie. So I guess this is happening. Let's pull up 2. However, the Epstein files bill grants Pam Bondi the authority to withhold or redact any material that could endanger national security or jeopardize an active federal investigation. Let's see. Did I read all that?
Yeah. Would jeopardize an active federal investigation or ongoing prosecution provided that such withholding is narrowly tailored and temporary.
Is there another page there? If the AG makes a determination that covered information may not be declassified and made available in a manner that protects the national security of the United States, including methods or sources related to national security. And Speaker Mike Johnson has talked a little bit about why these files cannot be released unredacted. Thank you, Dave.
All right. Number 5, national security concerns, okay? The discharge requires the Attorney General to release within 30 days, quote, classified information to the maximum extent possible. This ignores the principle that declassification should always rest, and always has rested, with the agency that originated the intelligence. Why? So that they can protect their critical sources and methods. It is incredibly dangerous to demand that officials or employees of the DOJ declassify materials that originated in other agencies, in intelligence agencies.
Yeah, why? Why is it incredibly dangerous to tell us who all of these pedophiles are? Why? Why? And then Donald Trump, after telling us, you guys remember, I don't know, when was that, 6 months ago, where he came out at that press conference and he's like, no one even cares, or who even cares about the Epstein files anymore?
That guy's a creep.
Yeah, exactly. But now he's singing a different tune. Let's listen to this clip.
As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. As far as the Epstein
he's
files,
throwing these names out. I have no doubt that he had some sort of internal meeting where he's like, all right, whose name are we going to throw out there? I like that one. That's good. Whose name are we going to throw out there? Who can take the beating for everybody? I guess let's talk about Larry Summers. Can you pull up 5? Larry Summers started a class at Harvard by admitting he's in the Epstein files. He was president of Harvard from 2001 to 2006, I think. He'll finish teaching the class before his resignation. Let's listen to this.
Regret expressing my shame with respect to what I did in communication with Mr. Epstein, and that I've said that I'm going to step back on public activities, but for a time, but I think it's very important to fulfill my teaching obligations. And so, with your permission, we're going to go forward and talk about the material.
Now, what did he really do? I actually am having a stroke of sympathy for Larry Summers. I don't know what's going on with me. Let's pull up 6. When former Harvard president Lawrence H. Summers was pursuing a romantic relationship with a woman he described as a mentee, he turned to a longtime associate for guidance. Now, this woman was 36. She was a Chinese mentee. He was suspiciously... he had a lot of admiration for China during this period publicly. No surprise there. There's no evidence she's a spy or anything. And outside of this being an extramarital affair, which of course, is awful, he doesn't really seem to be involved in the pedophilic aspect of this Epstein saga. So I'm kind of feeling for him, because is he the worst offender? No. Is he the most public offender? No, he's not. Let's pull up 7. Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary and ex-president of Harvard University, announced Wednesday he would resign from the board of directors at OpenAI amid scrutiny on his connection with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, ties that are now the subject of a new internal investigation at Harvard. He said, in line with my announcement to step away from public commitments, I have also decided to resign from the board of OpenAI. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have served, blah, 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 blah. Excited about the potential of the company. Look forward to following their progress. So he was Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, served as a top economic advisor to Obama, joined the board of OpenAI in November 2023. I don't know. I mean,
Look at this guy. He just does not look good.
well, he's an old Jew. So yeah. This guy, but Jewish pervert, but is he the worst offender in the Epstein files? No. And I kind of feel like he's taken the heat off of people that are really the culprits here. So I do, God help me, feel a little bit bad for him. What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think he deserves it? He does deserve it, but does he deserve to be the man that they're taking down mentioned specifically by Trump. What was it? 18,000 emails were released. How many people are implicated?
A lot. But it's also interesting. I'm going to throw a total curveball here. Again, on the weird dark sides of the internet that I hang out on, Chuck Johnson published some really interesting stuff that is purportedly by Epstein that kind of gives the other side of this thing. And according to Chuck Johnson, Jeff Epstein was innocent, at least with the child trafficking stuff, which is very bizarre. Very bizarre. Not saying like he's totally innocent or anything like that, but like he definitely was like a CIA Mossad spook that was doing a lot of like really crazy stuff and seems to have been framed for the child trafficking.
My recent Botox is not allowing me to convey the level of skepticism on my face that I'm feeling. But this sounds like bullshit to me.
I don't know.
Then why did they spend so much time trying to stop the Epstein files from being released? You know, what I really want to talk about on this subject is why has Trump changed his tune so much? He did everything that he could to stop this from being released. Then they told us
It's a hoax.
And
It's a Democrat hoax.
This doesn't exist. And now they're saying it's going to take down the government. And now he's saying we got to release it. At any time he could have released this.
Yeah.
At any time he could have released this. Cameron, how deep do you think this goes? You've been the one saying this is not going to go away.
Well, I think Dave and I both said that. You took the other side, so shame on you. Look, just to be very glib, at a minimum, this is a public relations nightmare. And we've been through this a number of times. The Trump administration and key people like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and others, they were vociferous in their commitment to investigating and prosecuting Epstein's crimes and anybody associated with them. And that lasted about 90 or 180 days, and then they buried it. And when Trump was asked about this, he stonewalled or he tried to redirect. Does that mean that he's intimately involved? Maybe, maybe not. Trump hasn't handled a lot of things over the last few months well at all. He's had a disastrous interview with Laura Ingraham that we covered last week. I think the man is fading. As to why he pivoted, that's pretty clear. He pivoted because the right wing in this country, and again, I'm not a huge fan of that, and I stand by what I've said from the beginning of this podcast, that we as nationalists are becoming the standard bearers of a new movement in this country. The Republican Party, led by Donald Trump and MAGA, are imploding, and that's what you're seeing. But Donald Trump is nothing if not sensitive to the polls. He's nothing if not sensitive to what other people say about him. And the murmurs, the rumors are getting louder that he's corrupt, that he's a fraud, that he's subverted or compromised by the likes of Epstein or the Israel lobby or any number of special interests in this country. And those murmurs used to be ignorable because they were in a small corner of the internet nobody cared about. Now they're becoming mainstream. And you're hearing them from major figures like Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, who have audiences that are in the millions, and don't think that isn't reaching the White House. All of that's true. That being said, I think this is deeper, and I've said this before, and I say this to some degree with a very superficial knowledge of Epstein, but I was on ChatGPT earlier, and I just queried a basic question. Is there anybody in American history that's comparable to Jeffrey Epstein? And the answer that came back was no, but there were a couple names that they said were close. One was Roy Cohn. And who was Roy Cohn? Well, he was Donald Trump's mentor in many ways, the gatekeeper of elite life in New York City, and famous for gaining compromising information and alleged sexual misconduct, among other potential criminality.
Didn't he die from AIDS?
Subterfuge.
What?
Roy Cohn, didn't he die from AIDS?
That I don't know. But the other figure that ChatGPT mentioned was Lucky Luciano, who was the head of Italian mafia in the United States. Now, what's interesting about this is that in both cases, these men who were similar to Epstein, they didn't quite fill the bill. Why didn't they quite fill the bill? Because Epstein is connected not just to the government and intelligence, right? So that's something that Luciano was connected to. He was feeding information supposedly to intelligence in the United States because he was familiar with criminal networks. That's the other side. He was connected to crime in some sense, or he was driving organized crime. But he was not intimately involved with elites in the United States the way that Jeffrey Epstein is, political elites, scientific elites, so forth and so on. And then you turn to Roy Cohn, and it's sort of the flip side without real connections to organized crime. Epstein is connected to everything.
Yes.
And what that seems to suggest is that the government that cannot escape this man and his influence, untoward or otherwise, that the government itself has become a criminal enterprise. That's what this seems to suggest, right? And a criminal enterprise that's not just about sex trafficking or pedophilia. It's not just about Ponzi schemes or financial crimes. It's not just about intelligence operatives, agencies doing all kinds of untoward things. It's about all of it together. And so when you enter into this system, by virtue of being a representative or senator or what have you, you are necessarily becoming part of a criminal organization. That's what this seems to suggest to me. That's why they've tried to shut it down. And now, because of the public relations mess of the Trump administration, because more and more and more is coming out about Epstein and his affiliation with people in all walks of life that have one thing in common. They're all important people, and they're all seemingly at the top of institutions. This, as I said 6 months ago, seems like it's not going to stop, and it could potentially bring down the government, because the government, as structured today, seems to be a pseudo-criminal enterprise.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, a lot of this stuff goes back to Operation Underworld, what you were talking about with Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, heavily involved with that too.
Yep.
I don't really have it up on the screen, and I'm fidgeting with my knickknacks, so I'm not going to pull it up. But yeah, we had Operation Underworld back in the run-up to World War II, where they started hiring off mob bosses for intelligence on Sicily. But who runs the Italian mob? Not the Italians, actually. It was the Jews, the Jewish mob, Meyer Lansky.
There's a conversation no one wants to have.
Right. But, when you were mentioning all of this stuff, I was also reminded of Louis Rosenstein. Louis Rosenstein famously had a bunch of blackmail on J. Edgar Hoover, and apparently there was an instance where Louis met with J. Edgar Hoover and Meyer Lansky and Francis Cardinal Spellman at the Blue Room of the Plaza Hotel, which is owned by Donald Trump, by the way. And the Blue Room was famously where the mafia and the FBI all got together to, service one another, if you catch my drift. And
We don't. You should be more explicit.
yeah, they would have butt sex with each other. And then they would blackmail each other based on the sexual depravity that they committed together.
Well, that's what the entire Epstein thing is about.
That's what the whole Epstein thing
Everybody's
is
so
about.
focused on the pedophilia angle, although I hate to be the person that points this out. This is not pedophilia.
Well, I mean, again,
but I do think, I mean, those are excellent points, Dave. And again, look, maybe these things go deeper than even what you're describing in these various cover-ups and underworld activities that have been going on for a long, long time. But, this is not just about public relations. It's not just about illicit activity. It's also the fact that what you're watching is the Trump administration implode. And I can't stress that enough. And why is it imploding? It's not about the issue per se of Epstein. It's not about messaging. It's not even about this clown car of policies that the Trump administration has pushed. It's the fact that the economy is falling apart, that life for average Americans is getting a lot harder. And because of that, the pressure is building. And people are going to ask more questions, not less. And if we go into a serious financial crisis, and I've been saying from the beginning that that's exactly where we're headed, all of this is going to come out. And you're going to see the pressure cooker turned up to the maximum on Congress in general. And I think they're all going to go down for this shit. Whatever it is that they've done, however deep it may go, if the economy goes off the rails. That's what this is all about. That's why there's there. If we were in prosperous times, if everybody was getting rich from the stock market, if there were abundant jobs and people were buying homes, things would be different. but that's not the case. So, yeah, this isn't going anywhere. It's only going to get worse from here for the president.
Absolutely. I think he's trying to avoid the kind of in-person heckling that Kash Patel experienced this week. That's clip 8.
So bad.
I kind of couldn't believe this, that they allowed a video like this to get out. But here we are. I mean,
It's 2025 in America.
yep.
What are you doing?
I like this black
Kash
security
Patel,
guard.
the American people want to know, how does it feel to be a cup for Israel?
Look at his eyes.
We're seeing and hearing what the FBI is doing on a daily basis.
You're claiming to serve the American people. You're serving Israel. Does it feel to be Israel's bitch? You don't care about kids getting raped. The American people want to know.
He's a patriot.
Patriot?
He's a patriot.
Rape kids? Is patriotism to
Thank
you?
you for your service, Direct.
Raping kids?
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot? Really?
Yes, you are. I didn't say anything.
That old guy's a boss. He's like,
I didn't say anything, bro. No, you
I
didn't
don't know.
say anything.
I don't know who this woman was.
Who the woman? Isn't that one of Code Pink people?
Oh, really? Well, good for her. Yeah, this
think
is
it
what
is.
we need to be doing. It's just such bad press.
It sucks. The right wing has really, we've been browbeaten into submission over the years so much that we're not doing any of this IRL putting pressure on people. It's the leftists that are out there doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And with this, have we got into the vote yet? Are we going to get into the vote?
Yeah, we can.
Because look at what happened, right?
Yeah.
We had I forget how many Democrats it was, but 4 Republicans that crossed the aisle and voted with the Democrats to make this whole thing happen. And ostensibly, wasn't the whole government shutdown basically because of this?
Yes,
Right?
absolutely,
It was
yeah.
because Massey and MTG had the votes to bring the Epstein stuff to light, and the government was like, oh, fuck that, no way, and they shut down, and they still failed.
Yeah.
They still failed in the face of the American people actually wanting fucking answers on this.
And this is the reason that we're seeing Donald Trump pivot. Another thing that happened this week, this is clip 9, watching Trump try to weasel his way out of this Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson question that he was asked directly. I know a lot of people were saying that this was some kind of win, but I thought that he was really weaselly about his answer. I don't think that this was he didn't want to disavow. He didn't want to promote. He was just trying to middle the road it, but it was still incredible to watch.
Let's pull this up.
Interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide. The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
You yourself had dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago a few years ago. What role should he play in the conservative movement?
Well, I didn't know he was coming, and he was with, as you know, somebody, Kanye. And Kanye asked if he could have dinner, and he brought Nick. I didn't know Nick at the time. And he did. He came, and along with a few other people. He brought a few people with him. Meeting people, talking to people, like for somebody like Tucker, that's what they do. People are controversial. Some are, some aren't. I'm not controversial, so I like it that way.
What the hell kind of answer was that?
That was the best. That was the best answer.
The idea
ever.
that he didn't know Nick was coming is so preposterous. You can just
I didn't know he was coming.
you can just show up +1. What year was that?
Meeting people, talking to people, as one does. We meet people, we talk to people. Some are controversial, some aren't.
I'm not.
I'm not. I'm
like
not
it that way.
controversial. What the fuck?
Was he president when he met with Fuentes?
No.
But he, I'm sure, had a
It was
very involved.
2023.
I'm sure he had a very involved, so he had been president. He had a very involved security detail. The idea that you could just show up with an unknown +1 to hang out.
If there is anybody on the planet that could show up with an unknown +1, it would be Kanye.
I don't know. There's just
FYI.
no way. I
But
just don't find that
He was coming
believable.
in with a political consultant too. Was that Kimberly somebody, right? Not Kimberly Guilfoyle. But, there was some woman that was at the table with them. She was a consultant.
There's just no way. He knew this. He approved it.
Based.
Yeah. I mean, so this is basically a
Where's my
disavow.
MAGA hat? I need to get the MAGA hat back on.
No. We're running out of Fell Forward Again awards. So why is he pivoting? Can we pull up 10. A few weeks ago, we were talking about how incoming, what was it? 40% of Congress is Groyper. There was
40% of congressional staffers are Groypers.
Okay, we didn't have any evidence on that, but Stanford Review has said now that 25% of freshmen are Groypers. Cameron thinks it's possibly higher, but there is some evidence that a substantial number of people in Ivy League positions, of congressional staffers, are at a minimum sympathetic to the Groyper philosophy. And Trump obviously recognizes this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's seeing that he's not going to have a path forward without at least giving them a little bit of a wink and a nod. And Nick Fuentes is outright saying, like, if anybody disavows Tucker, if anybody disavows me, if anyone disavows Marjorie Taylor Greene, we're going to destroy your campaign. That's clip 11. Let's just play it at 35 seconds or so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's on. Let's go.
Not take a stand for America first, then you have no business being an elected official in the American government. That is the message. In 2026, in the midterms, we are showing up, and the Groypers are showing up with us. If you disavow Tucker, you will not get the votes. If you disavow the Israel lobby like Thomas Massey, we will show up for you. And by we, I don't just mean the Groypers. I mean everybody that is America first.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, how many people do you think he's mobilizing? His views are still just astronomical.
Tens of thousands.
And I heard him talking about his interview with Tucker is the fourth most viewed interview that Tucker has ever done. And the first three were like major world leaders.
Yeah, it was Putin. It was like Bolsonaro, Trump, and then Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that he's right that he can mobilize a massive number.
And you know who's pissed about this?
Oh, it's not little Ben.
You know who's really upset about this?
Meanwhile, Nick Fuentes, who of course was glazed by Tucker Carlson rather famously. So Nick Fuentes has now announced that he is going to be launching an actual PAC, the America First Foundation.
Look how angry he is.
And apparently it is going to be supported by a variety of supposedly, quote unquote, America First figures. I say America First figures because, again, that phrase is semantically overloaded. Every American should believe that America comes first when it comes to our policy because duh. But what they mean by America First is not that. What they mean by America First is essentially a totally isolationist foreign policy, a complete overthrow of the idea of creedal Americanism, the idea that the Declaration of Independence actually defines what it means to be an American or the Constitution. And instead, it ought to be whatever Fuentes' peculiar definition of heritage represents. Apparently, according to the Free Press, the America First Foundation's latest tax filing lists Fuentes as its president, along with two board members. One is Jonathan Miller, a former White House correspondent for Blaze TV, who posted the day after last July's assassination attempt on President Trump. I'm not uniting with anyone except Christ and my brothers. I know stand with Trump, F the left, F the GOP, F the Secret Service, F the Jews, F democracy. God is with us. And also a white nationalist named Vincent James Fox, who has said he is part of the Christian Taliban.
He said he's part of the Christian Taliban. His whole fucking career, his whole life is boiled down to
this
Vincent
one
James
moment.
said one time that he was the Christian Taliban. Like, oh, okay, Ben.
Okay, little
what
Ben.
A fag.
Have you noticed how his yarmulke has just been getting larger and larger?
His hat is getting bigger. Look at you used to not be able to see the hat.
Yeah.
The hat used to be really small and in the back, just covering up the bald spot in the back, Now it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like pretty soon it's going to be a full-on sombrero.
I don't know,
Very
man.
obvious.
Is this why Trump is pivoting? I mean, I think that it must be the electoral loss. It must be this.
Of course, now everyone knows why Vince quit.
Yeah, really.
Because we're ramping up operations at the America First Foundation.
The Christian Taliban.
Boop, boop. All aboard. Wow, that was dumb. I quit. I fire myself.
You have to kill yourself now.
Holy shit.
Cameron, is this why Trump is pivoting on the Epstein files? Is this why he's singing a different tune about Tucker and Nick Fuentes? Fuentes.
Look, my views are probably well known on this platform at this stage, but I have a very different interpretation of where we're headed. I don't think that Donald Trump is going to finish his term. He is headed into a major shitstorm. And I think the hurricane is just about hitting the beaches at this stage. Epstein is just a part of it, right? That's the canary in the coal mine, as they say. The economy is in serious trouble. The financial system, I think, is melting down for reasons that we may address later in the program. But what's happening, what's very important, is that these legacy institutions, specifically the Republican Party, which is part of this criminal syndicate that we talked about earlier, and the Democratic Party, they're disintegrating. They're collapsing in and of themselves. They're incoherent structures that no longer address any real constituency at this point, except inside the Beltway, right? Except inside Capitol Hill, to enrich whomever shows up as a representative or a senator or a staffer or what have you. That's it. The rest of the country doesn't trust them anymore, doesn't believe them anymore. Their platforms don't address any of the major problems that we have. And so what you're seeing is that the left, which was never really unified to begin with, except maybe the specter of I hate the white man, and the Jews would cleverly pitch redistribution of the largesse of the wealth that we created, while maintaining some fiction that we were oppressing people. That no longer congeals anymore. And they're tribalizing, which is what you saw with Mamdani in New York. It's what you're seeing in various parts of the country as ICE confronts, millions of illegal immigrants that identify as Hispanic or identify as Mexican or what have you. The same is true for the blacks, the Indians, and all the rest. They are tribalizing. And what's happening on the Republican side is that the Republican Party, which is basically just a PAC for AIPAC, that's all it is, just a front for Jewish power in the United States, and maybe the legacy corporate banking elites, that party's done. And now we're shifting into something new, which is why I've tried to reassure Dave repeatedly that all is not lost if you don't participate in this electoral fraud we call the Republican Party. Something new is coming. And you're beginning to see the outlines of that. Donald Trump is going to be the sacrificial lamb to a new kind of politics. What frightens me, what I think should be scary to all of us, is that we're going to plunge into some kind of a leadership vacuum.
Yes.
And my hope is that we can reorganize ourselves in time to avert, the collateral damage that it inevitably is going to strike, but limit it to some degree, so that we can get back control of our country, restore order before things really get out of control. Maybe that's baked in at this stage, but our politics as we understand it, this left-right divide, Republicans and Democrats, the notion that interims are going to shift anything, that's over. It's done. Now we're moving from crisis to crisis, from exogenous event to exogenous event, from firing or resignation to assassination. This is where we are, folks. So buckle up, because this is just the beginning.
I think some of it is the imminent economic turbulence that we're going to experience or are already experiencing. But I can't say that the fissure based on the JQ is not having major political repercussions. I mean, somebody that's J-woke on the left, I identify more with that person than any Zionist Christian conservative.
Yeah.
I just do. I had to shoehorn this video into the show, even though it's 12, even though it didn't really fit, because I could not believe what I was watching. This is Harrison Smith did some good commentary on this. So go to this tweet and watch his commentary. We're not going to discuss it, but you have got to listen to what this Democrat speechwriter said on Holocaust education. Her name is Sarah Hurwitz. As always, Jews are reaching the correct conclusions for the wrong reason. So a lot of what she's saying is true, but the conclusions that she's reaching are dumbfounding.
I think that since October 7th, but really before then, there have been huge shifts in America on how people think about Jews and Israel. And I think that is especially true of young people. So we are now wrestling with a new, generational divide here. And I think that's particularly true in that social media is now our source of media. And this, it used to be that the media you got in America was American media, and it was pretty mainstream. It generally didn't express extreme anti-Israel views. You had to go to a pretty weird bookstore to find global media and fringe media.
Yeah. So she's literally bemoaning that anti-Semitism is allowed to rise because of the availability of information. And I don't even think she has any self-awareness that is what she's saying. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, you're right.
But today we have social media, which is a global medium. Right? It is shaped, its algorithms are shaped by billions of people worldwide who don't really love Jews. And so while in the 1990s, a young person probably wasn't going to find Al Jazeera or someone like Nick Fuentes, today those media outlets find them. They find them on their phones. It's also this increasingly post-literate media, less and less text, more and more videos. So you have TikTok just smashing our young people's brains all day long with video of carnage in Gaza. And this is why so many of us can't have a sane conversation with younger Jews, because anything that we try to say to them, they are hearing it through this wall of carnage. So I want to give data and information and facts and arguments, and they are just seeing in their minds carnage, and I sound obscene.
Okay, let's pause it again. And now she's bemoaning that the actual evidence, the video evidence of what they're doing, the brutality and the lack of humanity.
Shooting 4-year-olds in the head, raping prisoners.
That is an impediment to her intellectualizing, using data and reason to try to tell these people why this is not unethical. And she is saying this without like a shred of self-doubt. It's just not a shred of self-doubt. Let's keep going. This thing she says on Holocaust education is very important.
And, I think, unfortunately, the very smart, bet that we made on Holocaust education to serve as anti-Semitism education, in this new media environment, I think that is beginning to break down a little bit. Because, Holocaust education is absolutely essential. No. But I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big, strong Nazis hurting weak, emaciated Jews. And they think, anti-Semitism is like anti-black racism, right? Powerful white people against powerless black people. So when on TikTok all day long they see powerful Israelis hurting weak, skinny Palestinians, it's not surprising that they think, I know, the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight Israel. You fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people.
No, people are looking at the Holocaust and they are making this corollary that she's describing, but they're looking at it and they're deciding that Israel is too powerful and that they are, basically brutalizing and genociding people from Gaza. And that is the correct conclusion. And they're not able to get out of it. They're not able to talk their way out of it like they normally do because media, it's the virality of some of these clips from Gaza. You just can't stop it. And now she doesn't know what to do. So she's making the correct assessment of the situation that's going on, but the diagnosis is totally incorrect. This is the most Jewish video I have ever seen. I can't remember who sent that to me, but thank you. Dave, do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, well, I was going to add into this. This was a part of what Casey Whalen was talking about too, because this whole Holocaust education thing is coming to Idaho. Again, here's from his most recent video.
So law would do.
With Pastor David Megara, and Dave just got back from Israel, has some amazing things he's been talking to his church about today, but he also informed me of some great things he's been doing in Idaho. Dave, take it from here.
So this week, we had a meeting with the Educational Committee at the state capitol, legislators, regarding Holocaust education. They passed unanimously a resolution to be sent to the floor of the House this coming week and then on to the Senate, which I believe both of those will vote strongly in favor of it, that will provide Holocaust education for middle schoolers and then a refresher course in high school so that those kids who want to graduate from Idaho high schools have got to have a season of education about the Holocaust, which I think is a huge win. And part of what we're seeing at our university and college campuses is a result of not keeping Holocaust education in our curriculum. So they become anti-Semitic, they hate Israel, they don't understand, and so this is a big win.
I love how in the absence of refresher courses and scheduled propaganda, repeat propaganda, that the result is just necessarily
people become anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic.
It's like, yeah,
He's right about that.
If we don't subject like third graders to videos of emaciated bodies getting bulldozed into pits, everyone will be an anti-Semite.
yeah.
This is crazy.
We read Eli Wiesel's Night 2 times in high school.
See, I was given the option. It was optional.
That's right. We talked about this.
It was optional when I was in school. You could read 1984 or Night. And I read 1984.
Yeah.
Fuck Night.
Good. And now you're a famous Nazi.
Night is, that's fiction.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Didn't he lose his Pulitzer Prize?
Book.
I feel like we've talked about this before, but.
We might have, but it's a fiction book. And I remember when I was in school, it was not presented to us as fiction.
Oh, no. Me neither.
It was presented as though this was an actual firsthand account of the Holocaust.
Yeah, with the throwing the Jewish babies in the air and then lancing them on the German bayonet.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, they're fucked.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, too many people have seen it, and it's like, yeah, you've got to go through like hours and hours of indoctrination once you've seen the brutal reality on the ground of Gaza, and then you see what's going on in the government with Ben Shapiro and all these people. It's over.
Oh yeah, and then they just keep taking the mask off. This Ben Shapiro clip that I want to talk about was from last week, but we didn't talk about it, and so I wanted to bring it up. I think he did trigonometry last week.
Trigonometry?
I think Ben Shapiro was on trigonometry.
Oh, is that the name of a podcast?
It's a very, very bad, very large podcast.
Oh, okay.
But this was just astonishing. Like, he's another one. He has no shame in what he's saying. Let's play this clip.
They call that chutzpah.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here.
What?
I mean, that is a real thing. Okay? I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities.
Let's talk about why this is so Jewish, okay?
We need to fucking deport this asshole into the sun.
Oh my gosh.
Put him on a SpaceX rocket and shoot him into the sun.
I know he's talking about New York, where economic opportunities are plentiful. People should be able to live in New York, okay? It's a huge
They should
city.
be able to, but you can't.
But you can't, yeah. You have to live with 6 roommates, like, on 186th Street or something. Or move to Queens, God help you.
No.
Or the Bronx. Ugh.
Stay out of Brooklyn.
Yeah, just stay out of Brooklyn.
Just stay away from Brooklyn.
But the idea that you have no right as an American to continue community building where you grew up, where you were born, where you know your neighbors, where it's probably multi-generational, you have no right to that. That disbands the concept of community that is central to Americanism. And this is important to Jews. It's important to Jews to stop us from forming strong communities, because then they can't subvert the culture. They can't subvert the culture when the nuclear family is strong or when people are living in strong, homogenous communities. And that's why he has so much disdain for it. The reason that this pisses me off so much, though, is that he vehemently defends the idea that Americans should endlessly support Israel, not just in ideology and in principle, but financially. How many billions of dollars? Don't even tell me how many billions of dollars we've sent to Israel at this point. I don't know. I don't really want to know. But the number is astounding, I'm sure. So we have to support his ethno-state, his homeland, so that he has a place to go back to. But we have no right as Americans to community build. That is not our birthright. What an asshole.
Oh, but it gets even worse. Have you seen this clip about the age of retirement?
Yes.
Did we play it on the show?
We played it on the show. Yeah, let's play it.
I'll play it again.
And let's be real about this. It's insane that we haven't raised the retirement age in the United States. It's totally crazy. Joe Biden, if that were the case, Joe Biden should not be running for president. Hey, Joe Biden is 81 years old. The retirement age in the United States at which you start to receive Social Security and you are eligible for Medicare is 65. Joe Biden has technically been eligible for Social Security and Medicare for 16 years, and he wants to continue in office until he is 86, which is 19 years past when he would be eligible for retirement. No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. Everybody that I know who is elderly, who has retired, is dead within 5 years. And if you talk to people who are elderly and they lose their purpose in life by losing their job and they stop working, things go to hell in a handbasket real quick. But
well, you can have another purpose in life if you live in a strong community. You think people in Okinawa are never retiring?
Grandkids, maybe.
Yeah, how about that?
Your church.
It's just unreal. No amount of Holocaust propaganda is going to stop the youth from recognizing these as Jewish mask-off moments, and that's what they are.
And not only that, but like for the Holocaust propaganda to work, you have to make people, like you have to enrich their lives. They have to be driving around in a Corvette, with a nice job.
Right.
And a bonus at the end of the year. And we're not getting any of that. You
Instead,
can't own a home.
they're destroying our economy.
Yeah, 50-year mortgage, 15-year car loan, $2,000 stimmy check if you make less than $100,000 a year. You can't own a home. You can't get fucking hired at any of these tech places because all these Indians are in charge.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing.
Have you
that
seen these
young men
videos that are
getting
coming
from this
out of
system.
job seekers talking about their experiences right now?
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I've sent out hundreds of applications. Nobody has contacted me back.
Oh, and then the number of people that if they're lucky enough to get the interview, they'll go through 3 rounds of interviews, get up to like the senior VP, and it's an Indian, and they never get called back again.
Exactly.
Because Indians only hire
other Indians. I feel like we don't let Cameron get in here. We're feeling ranty tonight. Cameron, get in there.
Oh, that's okay. Well, look, you reap what you sow. And what's happened is, and I'm reading from an article that I think was put out by UNICEF. Maybe you can bring it up, Dave. 2 years of hellish war have devastated Gaza's children. And this comes from their executive director. In the last 2 years, 64,000 children have reportedly been killed or maimed across the Gaza Strip, including at least 1,000 babies. We don't know how many more have died due to preventable illness or are buried under the rubble, which means it's almost certainly higher than that, and it may be higher than that by degrees of magnitude. No amount of propaganda in the world is going to put a positive spin on that, right? It's going to transform that into some kind of defensive justification for war. It simply will not obtain. That's the first problem. And as you point out, they won't pivot. They don't have a reverse gear. They will not in any way, shape, or form show remorse. And that brings me to the next. Their ethos, their worldview is what's really being unmasked. When people tell you who they are, listen to them, pay attention. And what Ben Shapiro is arguing is the ethos of the rootless cosmopolitan. There is no community. There is no folk. There is no hometown. There is just an economic opportunity. There's a social economic ladder, and you climb to the top of it. And furthermore, if you do not climb to the top of it, well, fuck you. You're a loser. That's what they think. Their perception of anybody that has not accumulated vast amounts of wealth is that person is not as smart or not as capable or what have you. Now, lest we forget that you should not live your life in pursuit of money. Countless religions around the world, certainly Christianity, among others, has said, look, life is a glorious metaphysical reality. It's something that is about family. It's about love. It's about community, right? It's about the human connections that we form. But that's not the way that they see it. They see it as this social, economic, social Darwinist experiment. And unfortunately, that has dovetailed very well with the libertarian ethos, which is something we've talked about at length on this program. The bottom line is that ethos is becoming detestable by a population that, as Dave said a moment ago, is increasingly squeezed. They're compressed, right? They can't get ahead. There's no way out. And what they see is rampant corruption and hypocrisy. They don't see the guile and the alacrity of elites. What they see is rank corruption. And that's exactly what's there. People like Ben Shapiro. I think Ben Shapiro, Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's had a syndicated column since he was 18 or 19 years old. He's been fast-tracked to success because of his affiliation with the Jewish power structure. Everybody knows that. And instead of gratitude, there is entitlement, right? There is a sense of obligatory power. And now that these people are losing control of the narrative, losing control of institutions, losing control of corporate America, et cetera, they're afraid. And so they're lashing out. And what they're discovering, which is something I've talked about at length, is that their propaganda never really worked to begin with. All it really did is it saturated the airwaves with their presence, with their seeming power. And now that power has provoked resentment among the population. And of course, they can't understand this. How could you resent people that are so smart, that are so gifted, that have so much money, that have done by virtue of their superior intelligence and culture, gifted us their presence? This is what they think. And that sort of detestable mindset is going to be their undoing. Never mind this horrifying genocide that's going on in Gaza, and I would argue is also happening in Ukraine as well. They will not be able to escape the moral consequences of what they have wrought.
And shame on us for adopting this staunch capitalistic position where morality and community are entirely removed. And we talked about this at length with Constantine in our interview on Monday. That quote from Benoit saying that you cannot have a conversation about capitalism in the absence of immigration. You can't do that. And we have allowed ourselves to become these cutthroat libertarian capitalists, which led to a technocracy that has been totally taken over by foreign influence. So we get what we deserve here because we've allowed ourselves to be subverted by Jews. Are you going to play this clip of Ben Shapiro playing the violin?
I don't think it's actually that, but I'll try. I think it's another song.
He's playing
Ladies and
Schindler's
gentlemen,
List, right?
Benjamin Shapiro.
Yeah, see, this is not the right song, but that is Ben Shapiro.
Do you know what else is Jewish? Let's talk about other things.
I love that you can
Jewish.
just play the intro to the song and you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's like 11-year-old Ben Shapiro playing Schindler's List. It's
Maybe at our next meetup we should have like a Cybertruck and we can blast that song and then
we can have a blimp that says Jews rape kids.
Kids rape kids. Yeah.
Sam Altman, Jewish. I'm pretty sure that this entire AI economy is a Jewish Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
So I was doing research on this today because I was unaware of how deep this goes. I was like, well, if AI collapses, how much is it going to affect the average American? Let's pull up 14. Let's just start talking about Oracle and the AI valuation, please. So Oracle AI valuation, that's the second one. Let's pull up the first one.
Isn't that this one?
Nope. Go back to the outline.
This one?
No, is that it? Okay, Oracle's $3 billion OpenAI deal is now valued at minus $74 billion. Let's go to that article, the FT article. Womp womp.
Where's the? I've got to have. Don't I?
I would laugh, but this is going to be so disastrous for the economy. There's an FT article. It's 15.
This one.
Since September 10th, when Oracle announced a $300 billion deal with chatbot maker, its stock has shed $315 billion in market value. Look at that. Look at that. Just incredible. Let's pull up 16.
Eat shit.
No, we're screwed because of this. I thought that it wasn't going to have these widespread effects.
Oh, no, it totally is.
A net 20% fund managers said companies were spending too much on AI investments, according to a new survey. The first time this has been the majority view since 2005. So if we're going to steel man this, the argument is it actually has underlying value. Does it have any underlying value? And I do not think it does. I watched this very interesting video today. Dave, I watched this very interesting video today. We're working on our transitions. That explains why there actually is no underlying value.
Is there any underlying value supporting it? And there is now a mountain of data, actual real world, measurable, quantifiable, verifiable data that says no. You've got Sam Altman and Jensen Huang, putting money on the fire to burn, and then they tell ghost stories about AI inventing physics and AI is going to put us on Mars and AI is going to do all this. And then we have real world data like a recent MIT study that says 95% of companies that are using AI in the workplace are seeing no return on investment. And then other studies like Better Up, which is an organization run by Brene Brown, is a famous member of Better Up. They did research that showed AI is costing companies money.
He goes
I did a video
on
about
to
this.
talk.
They called
It was too long of a clip, so I cut it. But he goes on to talk about how a company with 10,000 people, because so many people are submitting AI slop, it takes the average supervisor 2 hours to undo one submission of slop, and it's costing that company $9 million a year. And these are not foreign-born workers largely. These are people within the company that are using AI to do their jobs.
Right.
They're not correcting for AI hallucinations, which happen all the time. All the time. Sometimes I'll ask AI questions and then I'll resubmit the same question because there's an error in processing. I'll get two entirely different answers.
There's like a right way to use AI and a wrong way to use AI.
The right way is to use it for recipes.
Recipes, business advice, structuring things like as a legal thing, like does this contract, where are the holes in it? How can this be exploited? You know, or even like skimming the news, stuff like that, like trying to extract a topic out of like a larger piece of work. That works as well. Generative stuff works as well. But like when you want it to like do work, like a real analysis.
Incapable. It's very, very difficult to do. Can you pull up 18? So it's very confusing what has actually happened. Or this is, the one you pulled up might have been better.
Is there any underlying value?
18, they're doing the meme.
They're doing
I think the one that you just pulled up organically might be better.
Which one's the meme? This one?
It's very confusing what is going on. So I encourage people to listen to the video. Maybe we should link it below that we just watched. I have another clip coming up from that too.
So what do we got here? We've got NVIDIA plugged into Oracle, which is plugged into OpenAI, which is plugged into NVIDIA.
And it's very confusing what's happening. So the way that the this guy on the podcast, I should be doing a better job giving him credit for his work.
Here's the more accurate way of drawing that meme. This is what's actually going on.
Right. So the way he explains it in this video, although that clip was too long too, so I cut it. But he says, all right, let's say a girl has a lemonade stand and her father bought her all the supplies. And then the first day she sells 10 glasses of lemonade, one to her neighbor and 9 to her father. And so it looks like she's not making any money, but it looks like she is increasing the value of the company. And then they give, I don't know, like 30 free glasses to an uncle. And the uncle comes in and redeems those glasses. So she's sold 40 glasses that day, but 30 were redeemed by her uncle who's invested in the company. 9 were to her father again, and 1 was to the neighbor. So she seemingly on paper has drastically increased the value of the company without actually creating any value. And that seems to be what's going on here. There's some kind of like incestuous reciprocity where they're feeding into one another and then they use that for collateral.
Yes.
And then they're just able to keep the cycle going. And now they're so overvalued. And he talks about Theranos, and we talked about this last week or the previous week. This is exactly what Theranos did. She didn't have a product. She was able to use the esteem of people that were on her board. General Mattis was on her board. Larry Ellison funded her product. And she would say, like, it's proprietary. I'm not telling you how it works, but look at these people that are involved. And I think Theranos was valued at $9 billion. She had no product. She was able to launch in Walgreens. And horrible things happened to people. A pregnant woman was told that she was miscarrying, that her HCG had gone down to 0. Somebody had a false HIV. Just awful, awful things. People just going into a Walgreens where they just to get a simple blood test, thinking that they were going to get feedback about their health, and then acted accordingly based on that feedback. And just disastrous consequences. She feels no remorse. And we're seeing exactly the same thing on a much larger scale with the entire economy. So why does this matter to the everyday person? This is a long clip. I need you guys to bear with me. It's very important. Very important. But this is going to affect all of us. And I think that this might be what starts the economic catastrophe that Cameron has been describing for months.
And then let's also give it all the compute money can possibly buy.
He's talking about AI.
And then we're going to launch the biggest accounting fraud in history to produce the round tripping of revenue that's going to be needed to finance that bubble. And that all started in 2022. Now, here we are 3 years later, and based on the lack of progress we've seen in the last 2 years, that experiment is a failure, and everyone in America is now holding the bag for that, whether they realize it or not.
So you referenced The Big Short probably a lot in this conversation. What does Steve Carell say at the very end? That regular people are going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, ordinary people pay for it because, what is in the average 401k, right? The average person who doesn't pay a lot of attention to their finances, but maybe they make a decent living. They're lucky enough to have retirement benefits at work. They probably have a 401k match. They probably put in at least enough to get that match from their employer. And it's probably in something like a traditional 60-40 portfolio, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. Now, the stocks tend to be going into mutual funds. And, open up the prospectus on all these funds, and the top 5 to 10 holdings are always the same. NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. It's all the same names. You call the fund 100 different things. The management fees vary. Everybody is invested in the same companies. And the concentration of those companies is now higher than it has ever been. If you just buy the S&P 500 index fund, like the SPY is the famous spider fund, a big chunk of that money is going to NVIDIA. A big chunk is going to Microsoft and Apple and to Amazon and Google and Tesla. And that chunk is bigger than it has ever been. There's now concentration risk. It is the most crowded trade in history. Everybody is in the same names. Now that's on the 60% side, the stocks in somebody's portfolio. What's happening now is the AI bubble is going after the 40 also. They're going after the bond side of the portfolio. They're getting into bed with private credit, which is financial institutions that are not banks, that are not regulated banks, but pretending to be banks, making loans, in this case, loans to build data centers. And that debt is being sold into bonds, into people's 401ks, IRAs, and pensions.
Thank you. And I encourage everybody to go to this video and watch it in its entirety. It's very important. This is Jack Gamble on Mike Ferris, Coffee and a Mic. So please, it's a long video, but what they're talking about is extremely important.
And it gets even worse when you add this layer to it. I don't know if you put this in the notes or not. I did not read the notes today. But shut the front door. Okay. Data centers powered most of U.S. GDP growth in 2025.
And how important are they really?
92% of GDP growth in the United States in the last 12 months came from data centers. And the data centers are coming from AI. Hello?
Yeah.
Is anybody else fucking seeing this?
Yeah.
But if we didn't have the AI data centers doing what they were doing, we would not have had any positive GDP in this country. We're not fucking making anything. We're not buying anything. We're not selling anything.
The entire economy is Theranos.
The entire economy is data centers, AI data centers.
I know.
We're fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. Cameron, do you think that this is going to be the impetus for our imminent financial collapse? Is this the one?
Oh, but it goes so much deeper than already. Look, couple things. So I think the motif of this show is crime, right? Is it the elites, that the government, that the tech bros, the Wall Streeters, et cetera, are all part of some kind of circular financial Ponzi scheme. And that is about to be rug pulled. At least that's what I think. And part of what you're seeing is the unmasking, right? You're seeing the unmasking of who has real power in Washington, D.C., AIPAC, Netanyahu, the Cuban lobby, goes on and on. Who has real power in Wall Street? Who has real power in Silicon Valley? That's what you're seeing here. Now, what exactly does that mean? Why do we think this is so devastating? Well, this is a game. And that's really the way to think about it. It is very much a casino. If you go back to 2007, there's a book called The Tower of Basel. I don't know if you could bring it up, Dave, but in that book, there is a pretty good description of the ethos that captured Wall Street in the lead up to the great financial crisis in 2008. And basically, he uses a guy named Charles Chuck Prince. He was the CEO of Citigroup, and Citigroup was at the heart of the mortgage meltdown that happened in 2008. And he was interviewed, I believe it was by the Financial Times, sometime in 2007. So a little bit of distance before the meltdown occurred. And he was asked about rumors that there were these subprime loans and that potentially there were default rates. There were murmurings that there were problems in the months leading up to the crisis. And he said, look, as long as the music is playing, you've got to get up and dance. You got to play the game. And that's the way to think about it, because a lot of you are beholden to the notion that these are clever supervillains that sort of sit above in the clouds and cleverly entrap the rest of us. That is the wrong way to think about it. It is very much a gambling game. And those who gamble, what are they? They are addicts. And there's another good book, and I'm going to quote from this book, A Short History of Financial Euphoria, written by John Kenneth Galbraith, because it describes in excellent detail exactly what possesses these people and what ultimately leads to these bubbles, which then collapse. In A Short History of Financial Euphoria, Galbraith says, the euphoric episode is protected and sustained by the will of those involved in order to justify the circumstances that are making them rich, and is equally protected by the will to ignore, exercise, or condemn those who express doubts. So basically, hey, as long as the Ponzi's going, we're all getting rich. We don't do our due diligence. We don't pay attention to the details. And anybody that calls attention to the Ponzi scheme, well, we marginalize them. We diminish them. We discredit them as a criminal. And if you watch that video that Rebecca put into the show that we showed highlights of just a moment ago, he talks about how he was vilified 2 or 3 years ago when he was looking at the accounting of NVIDIA and some of these other big firms. Okay, great. We got that. It's a bubble of some kind. What does that mean for the rest of us? If you go back to the Pension Protection Act of 2006, a very significant, I would argue, a seismic shift happened in the laws governing the retirement accounts, the 401ks of Americans. Basically, what happened is that Americans went from an opt-in system where you would meet with your HR advisor. You guys probably remember this. You would sit down with somebody and they would say, well, here's your package. The company will contribute X amount and you'll put in X amount. And then you were given a list of companies and you effectively had to choose which of those funds you would allocate your money to. And some people didn't. It was an opt-in. So you had to say, I want to go with X fund, and then they would disperse your contributions accordingly. Thus was born a 401k. Post 2006, it was opt out. So instead of having to select one and actually put your money into the market, now you're automatically in the system. You're automatically obligated. Okay. The Trump administration comes in 2024. And as we've said on this program, the Trump administration might be the most pro-Wall Street administration we've had since Ronald Reagan in the 1980s. And what they came up with was a further liberalization of what average people could invest in. And specifically, they called it a democratization of the 401k program. And this allowed basically retail investors, okay, so regular folks, to invest in shadow banks, to invest in private equity. Now, why do I say all of this? A very large number of Americans, all right, I think it's the majority, 60% or more of working Americans have 401ks. And those 401ks, of that 60% that have them, I think something like 85 or 90% never touch it. They don't know what's in it. And as you heard in that clip, over 50% of the S&P is the AI bubble that we're talking about. So we're talking about the vast majority of the retirement accounts of hardworking Americans are in this Ponzi scheme. And that Ponzi scheme has just been liberalized to include shadow banks and private equity and all the rest of this stuff. And why has this happened? Because money is running out. So is this the straw that breaks the camel's back? I don't know. What I do know is that this entire economy is basically the greater fool theory. It is some attempt to keep you in the system, to keep you vested and persuade others to come into the network. The minute the instant that all of a sudden people realize, oh shit, my money may not be in the bank. Maybe my 401k is at risk. They will pull the plug and there will be a mass exodus. That's how this game ends. That could happen next week. It could happen next month. It could happen in 6 months. I don't know. Why is it that it's gone on for so long? It's not just stupidity, okay? I have a friend. He's probably 50 years old, 55, something like this. He is not a boomer. He's very red-pilled. He knows about, who's really running this country. He is in the know. But he's got 2 daughters. He's got a wife. He's got, I believe, 2 homes and a timeshare. And in order to subsidize his lifestyle, he cannot divest from the Ponzi scheme. So it goes on and on and on and on. And at some point, the plug is going to get pulled and his entire net worth is going to vaporize in some significant fashion. That means, ladies and gentlemen, revolution. Because remember, the younger generation, we can't afford a house. We're ninjas, no income, no jobs, no assets for the most part. We're already outside the system and we're already pissed about it. Those who are in the system, they think that this can go on and on. The minute, as I said, the New York second that they realize that there's funny money and their retirement, their net worth is ethereal, that's when you're going to see real change in this country. And I think we're a stone's throw away from that.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. I mean,
rough.
I was what's the name of the guy? Do you follow Luke Gorman, Cameron?
Luke Groman, yep.
Groman, yeah, okay. I was watching a podcast of his earlier today, and it's I only kind of started to become financially literate like 6 years ago. When I met my wife, she's smart. But the way that he's describing the current financial system, what's it called? An Ouroboros? The snake eating Ouroboros.
Snake eating its tail.
Right,
yep.
The snake eating its tail. So like, whether we're talking about SOFR and the Fed funds rate, the overnight rates, the repo, the liquidity is gone. It's like evaporating overnight. And in order to make more liquidity, you're going to have to raise inflation. And no matter which way you turn, the system will fall into its own footprint. Mm-hmm. Whether it's printing more money or deflating, we're fucked. And the smart thing that we should be doing is we should be closing the border, deporting illegals, allowing inflation to hit in the jobs market, like allowing people to make more money. And that would actually get our manufacturing going again. But we're like not doing any of that. Instead, we're passing the Genius Act and doing the crypto thing. And and H-1Bs, we're not deporting people. We're fucked. It's not good.
As bad as all of that is, we have a carrier strike group. We've got thousands upon thousands of naval forces that are getting ready to attack Venezuela for God knows what reason. We have not ended the war in Ukraine. We have not solved our illegal immigration problem, as we've discussed. Mm-hmm. We have serious problems. And you can see how this is building, folks, right?
And the Middle East stuff is not over yet either.
None of these problems are over. None of it has been addressed. And I wrote an essay. I went back and looked at this early on. It's called Trump Hopium is on Fire. So this is like, I think I wrote it in April of this year. And I identified 7 crises that I thought might happen before the end of the year. Number 1, fiscal debt crisis. Yeah, I think we've got it, right? It seems to be the case that we're in some kind of a fiscal debt crisis. War with Mexico. I don't exactly think we're there yet, but that's still sort of on the back burner. War with Iran. Well, we had a 12-day skirmish with them that could have gone nuclear, for Christ's sakes, but that very much could still happen. Netanyahu's still in power, and God knows what he will do to stay in power. So that's very much in play. Recession. I think we're entering a recession, right? A banking crisis. Yeah, well, I'm hearing murmurs that unrealized losses, interest rates, repo rates, it's all communicating that the financial plumbing is in trouble, that it's disrupted, it's dysfunctional. Stock market crash. That has not happened yet. But we're beginning to see the stocks sort of wobble a bit. And then, of course, the trade war with China. which we've been at off and on for the last 6 months. So this is what is building, and I think it's all going to crash on Donald Trump's head, which is why I say I don't think he's going to survive his presidency. I really, really don't. I think either he will be forced to resign or he will resign voluntarily. That's how bad, folks, I think the situation is that we're in.
He does seem like he's had a more than an age-related cognitive decline recently. He's just saying shit.
Yeah.
Like more so than Trump normally does.
I think that was pretty evident in the Nick Fuentes disavowal, non-disavowal thing. I mean, the guy's just...
I'm not controversial.
He's out to lunch.
He's totally out to lunch, yeah.
I don't understand what anybody, or what even he thinks he's doing. But if there's a ball to be dropped, he is dropping it.
Right.
Across the board.
Yep.
Across the board. Which is one of the reasons why yesterday, I shouldn't be saying this. Don't ever tell people about your money. But I will say that I went...
Where is it, Dave?
I'm not telling you where. But I went and I purchased another ounce of gold.
Yep.
From our friends at Atlas Bullion. .com/backlash. The link, of course, is on our website. I'm doing it. I think that, we've seen gold kind of go up a little bit and kind of went back down. It hit, 4,400 an ounce, and then it kind of went down to 4,000. And I think it's going to keep going up. Not financial advice, but I am putting my money where my mouth is. And, if you want to get out to the other side of this crisis.
Is it in your backyard?
No. What? Maybe it is. Maybe you should go get a fucking dog and dig in the backyard.
I unironically would rob Dave and sleep like a baby.
Yeah. I got guns. Not happening. But do visit atlasbullion.com/backlash. Get loaded up on gold and silver while you can. There was this book. I need to read it.
Expert transition, by the way.
Yeah. I need to read it called Mandibles. Have you heard of it? Cameron, have you heard of the Mandibles?
No.
It's a book that came out in 2017, and it's like a fictionalized U.S. future. The book kind of starts right around now, and then it really picks up in the 2040s and 50s, basically in the wake of a giant crisis. And it seems every day like we're getting closer and closer to the situation that's described in that book. Hyperinflation, post-Weimar America type stuff. It's not good, and yeah, you're right. It's like, what's that? Yeah. What's the game called where you go around the circles or you go around the chairs?
Musical chairs?
Musical chairs. Yeah. It's like musical chairs.
Russian roulette.
Russian roulette. Fucking A. That is basically the American.
Look, the premise of our podcast and full disclosure, and I think we've talked about this before. This show was put together by Dave Reilly, Rebecca Hargraves, and Vincent James. They came to me and said, hey, we think you'd add some value to the podcast, but it was really their project. And the reason it was appealing to me and the reason I thought that there was a chance that it could do very well is because we were addressing a gap in the marketplace. Remember, the first episode that we did, if you go back and look at some of those comments, and I don't look at the comments every show that we do, but there was a lot of enthusiasm for Donald Trump. There was a period of euphoria and hopium. This stock market.
That was the title of our first show. It was called Hopium. Yeah.
It was hopium. But the premise of this podcast was that Trump is a fraud, that MAGA itself is a facade, right? And why? Why did we think that? Effectively, because the Trump administration, Donald Trump himself, in some way, shape, or form, and I don't know the details, he made a Faustian bargain, as has everybody on Capitol Hill. They made a Faustian bargain with the Jewish power structure. They made a Faustian bargain with a legacy America and all the power brokers that govern this country. And we all agreed in unison, to varying degrees for sure, but we all agreed that that Faustian bargain was ultimately going to fail, that it would destroy this administration and that we would enter into some kind of a new America. Now, I was the Lone Ranger in suggesting, I suppose, that that's the direction we need to go, that the failure of Donald Trump is a necessary step on the way to restoring order in this country, on the way to reclaiming our national identity, which is really what this is all about. That remains to be seen. But I will say this, folks, I think a lot about the audience. When we put these programs together, the three of us, especially Dave and Rebecca, who do the vast majority of the work, they have respect for the audience, right? We try to put together a good program of relevant information that combines what happens locally with what happens nationally and globally. And we do so in such a way that's elevated, that's a bit more professional, because there's a lot of slop, there's a lot of crap out there, but also because we're all sort of in this boat together. And when I think of the audience, I think, who is it out there that's really listening to me? Is this somebody sitting at JP Morgan Chase in some high rise in New York City? Probably not. Is this a representative on Capitol Hill that's sifting through Epstein files looking for his name? Probably not, right? Is this some bespoke billionaire sitting at the top of a major institution in this country, maybe a media company? No, probably not. You folks are like us. It's been a difficult time. It's been a difficult 10 or 20 years. And why is that? Because the system that we're in is broken, because the social contract has been severed. That's why. And as a result of that, you're working extra shifts. Maybe you can't find a job. Maybe your marriage is falling apart. Either way, you're figuring out, you're awakening to this reality. But here's the good news, ladies and gentlemen. As bad as things are, and I think they're going to get a lot worse. Let me be very clear about that. They will. You are, number one, mentally prepared. You've been through a lot over the last 10 or 20 years, a lot of growing pains that have forced you to open your mind, which is why you have come to our podcast. It's why you listen to the ideas that we express, and you want to join with others that share in that experience. The good news is that this system is demolitioning. It's falling apart, and that will liberate all of us. It will allow us to overcome obstacles that previously were impediments to a better life, or finding the right girl, or having that town or that community that has been denied to us by people like Ben Shapiro, who don't give a shit about any of us, right? Who only care about their very narrow set of elites or people like them, right? Who are vested in perpetuating this fraud and this corruption. That is falling apart everywhere. And that is going to be very cathartic for the rest of us, because all of a sudden, people like us that aren't corrupt, right, that haven't been degenerated by the system. And how do I know that? Because we've suffered, because we've been excluded from jobs, because we didn't get that promotion. And we probably didn't get that job or that promotion because we told the fucking truth, especially Dave Reilly and Rebecca Hargraves and countless others, Vince James, among them, who told the truth and suffered the consequences. Well, now you reap what you sow. This system that's basically a house of cards built on lie after lie after lie after lie, it's about to be set on fire. And that means that your time is coming. Our time is coming. And something radically different, something new is imminent. I can feel it. I suggest you can as well. And I think that's why you listen to this show.
You know your quote about Mark Twain and living on compliments? I live on public validation, and I'm too egomaniacal to not experience it in my life and have to experience it posthumously. It will be enough. I won't need food or water. I'll just need people to be like, you were right 10 years ago. I'll be like, ha ha. Let's do my rant segment.
Yes.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
There you go.
So I wrote this because this week I was watching Candace Owens.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. And I could not look away. I couldn't look away. She's talking about Charlie Kirk, and she was drawing these insane conclusions based on such little information. I wasn't able to follow her. And so many people are watching it. And I'm trying to keep a level head about the Charlie Kirk thing. Like, I want to know what actually happened. I don't want to fill in all these gaps with nonsense information and then act like that's the truth. And if anybody diverts from my opinion about it, there's some kind of
heretic
or idiot. Like, I would like to know what happened. All right. I know people had motives. I know that there are some strange stories out there. And I'm not saying that I'm getting the entire story from the FBI. I would never say such a thing. But watching somebody fill the gaps and be reinforced by the right-wing community has been truly astonishing. I was just watching her like it was just entertainment, like it was just TV. I was just sitting down with my husband and we were like, what is happening right now? It was total slop. So I wanted to talk about, on the right, if we have a problem with filling information gaps, it's, we do with total slop. So John Keats said, negative capability, that is when man is capable of being in uncertainty, mystery, doubt, without any irritable reaching after fact and reason. This is important. So what does Keats mean here? He certainly doesn't mean, because he was an intellectual and he was intellectually curious, he does not mean that we should stop seeking truth or answers, but we cannot know everything. And sitting in that uncertainty, something that I'm very, very bad at, is such an important part of being human and of developing a worldview rooted in reality. And as a movement, I think we have a major weakness in this department that's emerging, especially with the Charlie Kirk assassination. There's strong, decades-long evidence showing that political conservatism is associated with a higher need for cognitive closure and a lower tolerance for ambiguity or uncertainty. So in the context of Keats, information gap, this manifests as an irritable reaching after fact and reason, or sometimes after alternative facts, in order to more quickly arrive at certainty, order, clear answers, rather than this painful process of lingering in doubt, which I think we all hate. So people who score high on need for cognitive closure prefer definite answers, dislike ambiguity. They're drawn to structure, tradition, decisive leadership. Many studies, meta-analysis, have found a reliable positive link between this measure and conservative political ideology. This is not necessarily a bad thing. I would argue that the left has a similar need. We all do as humans. And they tend to fill the gap with emotion-based reasoning. And those that don't have no intellectual curiosity at all. They are at the forefront of the total rejection of basic sex characteristics. Some answers are easily found, and they tend to create philosophical uncertainty around straightforward facts of life that aren't plagued by the unknowable characteristics of which we're discussing, like accepting racial differences. That's another one. But it's obvious that the irritable reaching is causing issues with black and white thinking and conspiratorial conclusions on the right. We're talking blindly supporting Israel, this insane conclusion drawing with Charlie Kirk, throwing people over in the dissident right for minor infractions. The examples are plentiful. Approaching topics with skepticism, it's always appropriate, but filling in gaps with unsupported conclusions drawn from erroneous evidence never is. We have to be comfortable in the not knowing. So closing the information gap, that's the distance between what we know and what we need or want to know, without abandoning the search for truth, is the central challenge of all elevated thinkers. And the trap is pretending to close it with false certainty. And the art is learning to carry the tension productively while still moving towards better approximations of reality. So for the vanguard, this needs to be dealt with through constant study, constant questioning, when appropriate, viewing the matter at hand in terms of probability, not certainty. Like, how likely is it that X happened, that Y happened? What is the best solution given this probability? Then just dealing with the remaining discomfort and uncertainty, even though it's uncomfortable. But for the general population, I think for your average person, thinking like this is just too complex. And so they need to be dealt with through hierarchy. The vanguard develops an understanding of the problem, the best solution, And the hierarchy dictates the behavior of the rest of society based on the judgment of the higher level thinkers. This is the problem with democracy, right? Let me know what you think in the comment section, because I think it is to our benefit sometimes to engage in this black and white thinking, like especially with the gender issue. Like, oh, no, this is wrong, this is right. There is a universal truth about certain matters, but there isn't always. So is this going to be a benefit to us, or is this lack of nuanced thinking destroying the right, destroying the philosophies of the right? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Please get our engagement up. More comments. I read every one of your comments, and they keep me up at night and force me to get Botox. Lots of it.
I read your comments.
And then I'll send them to Dave. He's like, why are you doing this to yourself?
No, like, where is, let me, here, I can pull this up. My wife just sent me this one. This is great.
I did read a funny one.
Dave farts nickels. His wife says there's a bank in town.
Fact check true.
Dave Jew AF. Bro, I love these comments.
I know the audience has been really funny tonight.
Like the videos, share the videos with friends, like-minded friends, maybe family members, probably not.
Watch Candace Owens and tell me if you think that I'm being crazy, because I'm watching this and I'm like, it's like somebody with a 110 IQ has been constantly reinforced to think that she's smarter than she actually is, and she's just spinning out of control. But then she doesn't have like any shame. She has the confidence of like a fat black woman, even though she's not fat. And so there's nothing to temper that. She's the right wing's DEI hire, I think.
Well, there's definitely an issue of light switch brain. And it's not just on the right. It's like all over the place. And that light switch brain needs to die.
Yeah.
It does need to die, because we're seeing it happen on this like Marjorie Taylor Greene and what's his name? Thomas Massie.
Yeah.
And even with what's his name? Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting a lot of people reaching out like, like, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene's nuts. I'm like, no, she's not nuts. She just went against Israel, and there's a coordinated media campaign against her this week.
Oh,
like,
or that tweet that
I don't think it's all about Israel, blah, blah, blah. It's like
this black and white thinking,
Shut
or
the fuck
you
up.
can't levy a criticism against somebody that's a hero of the dissident right. Like I said this thing about Thomas Massie getting remarried way too soon on Twitter. And it was like this mild criticism of him. And people are like, where's your $7,000, you shill bitch? I'm like, whoa. Okay, he can be working for our interests and also have gotten married too soon. How about that, you guys? I think we got a real problem. We got a real problem on the right. I don't know. Cameron, what do you think?
So I liked what you had to say. Some good ideas there. When we talk about a movement, it implies necessarily that we are headed in some particular direction. Along those lines, there's a very good book that I recommend all of you read. It's called The Master and His Emissary. The Master and His Emissary is an argument that the Western world is in a conflict of left versus right hemispheres. And a lot of you probably heard verbiage along these lines, left brain, right brain, so forth and so on. But this book is very nuanced. It's very technical and philosophical. But one of the things that it argues effectively is that the left brain, which is how we empirically engage with the world, it's how we categorize things, it's how we think in a rational way, that side of our brain, particularly over the last several hundred years, if not since the Reformation, has completely closed off the other hemisphere. And the other hemisphere is actually the source of our consciousness. And the other hemisphere thinks sort of mystically or stands outside of empiricism. It's the mechanism by which we emote, all right? But emote does not mean to be emotional per se. It means to channel a kind of metaphysical sentiment. And oftentimes when I talk and I talk about things that are abstract or nebulous, you know, some people will say that, they don't like it because they're thinking empirically, right? Where's the party? Where's the vanguard? Where's the headquarters? This is all sort of left hemisphere dominant thinking. And it's very limited because it assumes that human beings live inside of a box and that box is limited by certain variables, right? Power or money or fear. when in reality, human beings, the human mind is very much an open system. And what I mean by that is that there are lots of variables that influence how we do things, why we think the way that we do, why all of a sudden we change direction. And those are impossible to model. They cannot conform. They do not conform to mathematical formulas or empirical analysis. They are from the right hemisphere. And I suppose what I'm suggesting to all of you is that this conundrum that bedevils people who want to see spectacular change, they want to see revolution, they want to see transformation, all of these things that I believe is actually in progress, they can't see it, even though it's happening, right? These are the people, as you said earlier, Rebecca, I'm on team, nothing's happening. Oftentimes nothing is happening in the moment. And then you look back at your life and you say, holy shit, everything has changed. We are in a kind of hemispheric change. Our systems of governance are going to have to change. Scientific paradigms are breaking. That's not to say science is over. It's to say scientism is dying. Our notion of politics, as I've said repeatedly, that's changing. How we communicate, personalities that resonate, they're changing, but they're coming from sources that are different, that are new. And it's very hard for people to wrap their minds around that. So I guess the point of what I'm trying to say, folks, is that it's not just that things are changing materially. It's not just that the economy is bad. It is. It's not just that we have a racial mess unfolding in every Western country. It's also that psychically speaking, we are rewiring. We're becoming something. We're moving into a different direction. And that is a higher consciousness, a higher racial consciousness, a higher national consciousness, which is why things aren't falling apart per se, as much as we are transforming, but that's going to look a little bit different. And we can't see the path with precision. It is mystical. It's from that sort of right hemisphere. That's where we're headed. That's what's going to kick into gear. And that means that we've got to re-envision, we've got to reimagine, and to some degree, we've got to have faith that there is some kind of divine inspiration to this play that we're all engaged in. Because if there isn't, what the fuck is the point of any of this? Right? That's the whole thing. If you don't really believe in the nation, if you don't really believe in the people, if you don't really believe in Western civilization, these things that are abstract, that cannot easily be defined, then you've already lost. And really, that was the goal of this failed experiment called pluralism, hatched some 200 years ago by not just a Jewish power structure, but also by a very left hemispheric way of thinking that says, nope, everything is contained in this box and there is nothing else. That sort of nihilistic thinking, that's dying too. So try to rewire your brain, reimagine what can be possible, because I think we're entering into a very different world in which all kinds of shit that was impossible even 6 months ago, all of a sudden it happens.
Right. And tapping into confidence in our ethnos is going to be central to this. So I think it was Millennial Woes. He tweeted, we're just operating on a higher intellectual playing field, a higher spiritual playing field than other people. And my mom, she gets so down. She's so angry about the state of affairs. And she repeats that to herself like a mantra because it makes her feel like being more connected to truth means that we're more alive. And I think that that's an important thing. Like, things are going to get hard and we are going to have some real struggles ahead of us, but we are seeking a greater truth and the truth. I mean, we really need to hammer that down. That's the goal here. And the preservation of our people. But thank you so much.
But they won't be. They won't be. I don't mean to interrupt you, Rebecca, but they won't be as hard for us. They won't. Look, imagine the average normie sitting in a skyscraper somewhere, right?
With
finishing
no clue,
his weekly
right?
report, that has no idea that his retirement savings may vaporize. That has no idea that we may be engaged in a serious war overseas. Has no idea that his white family, his child who's 8 or 9 or 10 years old is going to be enrolled in a high school in a few years' time or what have you, surrounded by foreign faces, right? And probably victimized because of it. These are the people that are going to have a very difficult time. Not us, because we already live in that reality.
Yes.
So when reality crashes the fiction, that's going to be a source of empowerment, not disempowerment for us.
Absolutely.
What do you think is going to happen when people realize that there's people handing out knives to homeless people in major American cities?
Why?
Where do you find this stuff, Dave?
Look at this shit. This guy's just going around handing out machetes to black
What
people
possible use?
in the inner city.
Why would somebody do this?
If you think things are bad, just wait until this.
Give that guy a knife for sure.
Bro,
Yeah.
nothing bad is gonna come from that. Holy shit.
God.
And meanwhile, you're upstairs filling out your fucking, oh damn, the TPS report.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you could give me those TPS reports. Oh my God.
On that note, get your last minute super chats in the backlash.net/super chat. We're gonna let Cameron go get his beauty sleep.
Aw. Well, we might have a couple questions for Cam.
We'll look through them real quick.
Hold on. Before I do that, I have to give a shout out to Antelope Hill Publishing.
Okay.
They're fighting to keep history alive and equip new generations of dissidents with the information to fight radical anti-white regime. Their varied catalog includes newly and updated, expanded third edition of Dr. Kevin MacDonald's Culture of Critique, the essential modern text on Jewish identity, Dr. Ricardo Duchesne's magnum opus, Greatness and Ruin, the definitive scholarly examination of European exceptionalism, as well as works by Kerry Bolton, Paul Kersey, and Josh Neal. Antelope Hill is they've recently brought, I need to rewrite this script. Antelope Hill recently brought David Irving's iconic Nuremberg, The Last Battle back into print and have numerous translations of historical works from eras such as Fascist Italy, National Socialist Germany, and Civil War Spain, previously all unavailable in English. There are also plenty of books on contemporary issues such as transgenderism, the opioid crisis, and Christian nationalism, as well as history books, novels, and children's books. So whatever your interest is, you're bound to find books that you like at Antelope Hill, all professionally published with sleek, modern cover art. Help us and help our people by checking out companies that share our values and fight for our cause. Visit antelopehillpublishing.com.
Thank you, Antelope Hill.
There we go. See, let's see. Starting off the evening with Queensboro Bridge Enjoyer, who sent $10.
Can we control F for Cameron?
Control F?
Can you just keyword search if any of these are for Cameron?
Yeah, well, this one is Cam Dave Blonde. What are your thoughts on the rumor that the U.S. government will raise the statutory price of gold from $42? For anyone interested, retired Swiss banker Clive Thompson discussed this in detail on his YouTube channel 4 months ago. Cam?
This is a Cameron question.
Yeah. So what specifically is he talking about? Well, sitting on the Treasury balance sheet is a large amount of gold that goes back to the Great Depression. And there was some back and forth between the Fed and the Treasury. I don't remember all the details, but the bottom line, it's sitting there as an asset on the balance sheet of the U.S. government. And so the theory is, okay, well, how much is it worth? Well, it's still valued at what it was in the 1930s. It hasn't actually been updated. So at current valuation, that means a lot more money for the federal government, depending on whether you're talking about 4,000 an ounce or 5,000 an ounce. You're talking about potentially $1 trillion or more dollars. Here's the problem, okay? The collateral that backs the entire global financial system and more or less maintains the solvency of the U.S. government is the U.S. Treasury bond. Mm-hmm. It is the collateral that allows every bank on this planet to effectively transact, okay? Now, what happens if all of a sudden the Treasury Department revalues the gold that it has on its books at current market value? What that means is that all of a sudden gold is as important, if not more so, than a U.S. Treasury bond. Now, operating in the background, there's been a net exodus out of U.S. Treasury bonds, not for the last few years, not for the last 10 years, but as far as I can gather, since 2010, foreigners have been net sellers of U.S. Treasury bonds. And at the same time, they've been accumulating a lot of gold, especially over the last few years. So what I'm suggesting to you is that I do not think the Treasury Department will voluntarily revalue in gold, because if it does, that's sending a clear signal that the dollar, and specifically Treasury bonds, which is the collateral that backs the U.S. government's full faith and credit, are over. If and when they do revalue, it will likely be in the midst of a financial catastrophe, and they have no other way out. eventually that will come, but they will not do it voluntarily. They will do it when it's forced upon them.
Yeah. I think you're right. Not good. Oh, I think that actually does it for Cam. That's the only one that's like directly addressed to Cam. So Cam, if you want to go sleepy night, you want to go blanky,
all right, guys.
Blanky mode, go ahead.
Blanky mode.
Good fight. Good night. Talk to you later.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you. We've got Queensboro Bridge Enjoyer with another $10 super chat. At the micro level, one specific ethnicity consistently funds lightning quick solutions to unprofitable companies, often involving suspicious arson cases and large insurance payouts. At the macro level, isn't this what the Trump admin is doing right now? In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, who,
Can't argue with that.
What was that tweet that I saw the other day where like Donald Trump pardoned some Jewish guy?
Oh, yeah.
For,
And
like,
then he
doing
went
a
on
Ponzi scheme
to do another Ponzi scheme.
within like 24 months of being released from jail.
He's like, oh, I guess I can get away with it.
Bro, no, it's not good. Blackout King 213 sent $10. Greetings from Boise. Dave, is there going to be another meetup? I was working out of state. Yeah, there is going to be. We're planning on having a little Christmas party.
What?
Yeah, we're going to have a Christmas party. So if you're in the area, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene area, get in touch. Send us an email, info@thebacklash.net. I'll take you out to some coffee, do some light vetting.
He means light.
Very light vetting. It'll be fine. But yeah, we are going to do a little Christmas party. And then get in touch with me, info@thebacklash.net. I might be in Boise on January 9th. So maybe we have a get together at the Old State Saloon.
I love Boise.
Boise's okay. It's not bad. There's good food.
I want to live in a city again.
Streets are clean. There aren't many black people
That's
down
true.
there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Lots of trannies though. I'm gonna look up some Zillow.
Oh geez. North Idaho Tallow Company sent $10. Great show, guys. Appreciate you. I'm going to be edgy at Book Track Grooves. Have you ever ridden a horse? I took lessons for a few years when I was a kid. New Christmas scented soap dropping next week.
Nice.
Very true. North
I
Idaho
have
Tallow
smelled
Company.
it,
We've
and
got to
it
give them
smells like the holidays.
a big shout out. They are great. They make soap and skincare without endocrine disruptors. Soap, balm, lip balm. It's all very good. I've got some beard balm in, keeping my beard from flying away. They've also got a brand new signature gift box for the Christmas season this year. So if you want to get a gift for a friend or a loved one and you don't want to package it yourself, you can export your packaging needs to North Idaho Tallow. Does that work? I don't know. They don't have H-1B workers, that's for sure.
Zero H-1B workers.
Might be some child labor issues.
What is wrong with you? Oh my gosh, Boise home prices are worse than they are here.
Ooh, that's not good. But yeah, so please support North Idaho Tallow Company. Aggie Jet Pilot with a huge super chat. $50.
Thank you so much.
Happy Smash-iversary. A year ago today is when some moron driving a commercial truck tried to kill me by making me his hood ornament. Too bad for him that all he did was almost kill me with internal spleen bleeding and broken femur that's now mostly metal.
I'm sorry to hear that,
Aggie
buddy.
Jet Pilot. I did not know that you got hit by a Jeet in a truck. I'm assuming he's a Jeet.
Why would you just assume that?
Yeah, because it's America and it's
That's true,
2025.
yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that, bud.
The actual chances that you get hit by somebody that's not white. Let's assume they're worse drivers. It has to be over 50%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you for the happy
We
anniversary
love you. Thanks for
super
coming
chat.
over from the old show.
That's awesome. Jeez. Don't get hit by cars. What are you doing? Jimmy ICU sent $10 on YouTube. The only thing I don't get is why. If Epstein was so connected, was he ever allowed to be arrested in the first place by the powers that be? You'd think they'd try to protect him from that. But that's where the Chuck Johnson take comes in.
I don't know. Maybe Ann Coulter was talking about Epstein in like 2011.
People were talking about him early, but then there was also like with this this big Chuck Johnson thread. Where is it? Do I have it up? Do I still have it up, or did I take it down? I think I took it down. But Chuck reveals, or I guess there was some document written by Epstein where he talks about how he was getting framed by all of these people close with Bibi Netanyahu. And you'll remember that Epstein had a relationship with Ehud Barak, the former prime minister, the one who Netanyahu was running against.
He did indeed.
When he was running for office. So there does seem to be some Jew-on-Jew action that was going on there. I mean, the idea that Epstein, might not be as guilty as we've been led to believe, with this. I mean, because as soon as you call somebody a pedophile, it's done, it's over. You don't want to hear their side of the story.
Yeah,
you don't want to hear what's going on. That doesn't take away from him the fact that he was working with Leslie Wexner and what Les Wexner does with
Hebophile. He's a hebophile.
Well, he's Jewish himself, but
no.
I mean, look at what
that means.
Les Wexner was going around.
Hebophile means an
someone's
attraction to
Hebrews.
post-pubescent girls.
Oh, jeez.
But it is called. I think I'm right.
So anyway,
can I Google hebophile without getting arrested?
No. But I was going to say Les Wexner was going around with what's her face, Deborah Lipstadt, trying to criminalize speech, talking about the Holocaust, anti-Semitism, and all that. Epstein was involved with all of that just as much as he was with the financial stuff and the mega group and all of this.
I'm wrong with this. A
it's not
hebophile is an individual with a strong, persistent attraction to early adolescence, 11 to 14. That's not. He was a phebophile.
Oh, as opposed to a philosemite.
Which is attraction to women 15 to 18.
Too many big words.
This is an important distinction to be made. All right.
Oh, really?
Of course, it's an important distinction to be made that being attracted to, because being attracted to prepubescent girls is sexually dysfunctional.
Yeah. I would agree.
And far more unethical than being attracted to 15 to 18-year-olds. You don't have to answer this. I'm a woman, so I can get away with some of this. But
isn't that called pederasty?
Is it?
Well, pederasty might be young boys, post-pubescent.
I think that is.
This stuff is so...
It's a man-boy love. NAMBLA is pederasty.
Deport, murder.
There are degrees of ethical considerations here. That's all I'm saying.
That's fucked.
But I don't care what happens to Epstein because, he's a perverted Jew.
He's Jewish.
I just gave a whole thing about truth and everything, and now I'm like,
Tomahawk sent $10. I've been telling people for a while now, we don't have a government. We have a mafia pretending to be a government. True.
Yeah, absolutely.
Read Whitney Webb's book. I mean, her book is still like the best work on it, even if it's flawed, which I don't know of it having any flaws. I just hear other people bitching about it. But
who, Ian Carroll?
No, Ian's been very supportive.
Didn't he say something?
No, it's mostly Ryan Dawson has a problem with Whitney Webb.
I like Ryan Dawson.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Dude, Ian Carroll came out with the most dumbass take. Did you see his viral tweet?
We need to get him on the show.
Why?
Why not?
I don't know.
He's a nice guy.
He has questionable physiognomy.
Oh, stop.
Also, what he was saying about the hate in our hearts, I was like, bro.
Well, there is an element, right? There is an element of this whole thing where you get called a Nazi, and there is an element of the person calling you a Nazi wants you to transform into the caricature of a Nazi. Yeah. And you should resist that.
Nazis were...
I don't think our movement should be based on hate or spiteful resentment. I agree with Nick on that. I am this way because I love my people. I love my religion. I love my country. It's not because I hate you or whatever. Yeah.
I am this way because I hate you.
Yeah, well... Go to confession.
I will.
Anonymous.
Wonder if I'll feel better.
$10.
Hi.
If you could choose AA much and of whatever quality you desire for either money, advice, or assistance, which would you choose?
Wait, if you could what?
If you could choose as much of whatever quality you desire for either money, advice, or assistance, which would you choose?
Money.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Money fixes things.
Like Ben Shapiro and his bed of money. I'm like, give me the fucking money. Give me all the money.
Who do I need advice? Assistance?
Dude, money can buy all of those things.
But yeah.
If you have enough money, you can buy an assistant and an advisor.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would take the money. Bitcoin, please. Book Track Roof sent $10. AI is just a search tool if you still need coders, accountants, engineers, and musicians. It's helpful if you are sharp. Read and write.
Yeah.
Don't rely on it for every action. Yeah, very true.
It is very helpful for health stuff, though.
Augment what you are already good at.
Yeah.
It can't replace you. You still have to have a mind and drive the thing.
It can replace a doctor.
Maybe.
For diagnostic purposes?
It can replace a lawyer.
Okay,
to
so
a
AI
certain
can do a
degree.
lot.
AI can do a lot, but it just can't do things like tell me about Idaho politics. It will hallucinate. It'll just come up with
You
goofy
owe
shit.
Devin Stack an apology.
We'll have him back on the show.
He's never coming back on the show.
Really?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, no. You burned that bridge hard.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
He'd come on for you.
I don't know.
Danny Montana sent $10.
Hey, Danny Montana.
Howdy, folks. You guys are spot on the money about the young people turning on the Jews. The conversations I've had with my family as well as coworkers is night and day from just a few years ago, even asking if I know who Nick Fuentes is and joking.
That's great.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's been happening.
I can tell who around town is a Groyper based on like the way they dress.
You can tell who they are based on the way they talk, the way they dress, their hand movements.
Their physique.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that Groypers wear short shorts and they never skip leg day?
No, they never skip leg day.
Never do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got big butts, but not like fat butts. They got like gym butts.
Strong, muscular.
You can tell a Groyper by his butt.
Groyper butts. That's true. You're going to now get a bunch of DMs with Groyper butts.
Oh.
Do it. Send her Groyper butts.
Sending me dick pics on
Danny
Twitter.
Montana sent another $10. The Holocaust. I wanted to drop some insider info. I work in the accounting department at one of the biggest goy slop companies in America. To put it in Cameron's wise words, it's all fucked. Literally a bunch of magatards banking on Trump to fix economy.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. They're between a rock and a hard place.
You guys help us get to our financing goals, please.
Yeah, send another $750.
The backlash.net/super chat or right here on my YouTube channel.
Anonymous sent $25. New Yorkers were told that our power plants were ticking time bombs of climate change, so the state proudly shut them down, costing a fortune. Wait, now they're rebuilding. Now they're being rebuilt through a government loan that I have to pay for? Such a scam. My power bill went up 300% for fuck's sake. Oh, dude. That's not good. Yeah, we need, see, and this is one of the things that I was listening to in this podcast. The new AI chips that NVIDIA is coming out with requires so much power, right? And so on the one hand, the chip is only good for 3 years before they innovate a new chip, right? The problem is that the amount of power that it draws, it'll take 5 years for us to up the grid to be able to provide the power for the chip that will be obsolete by the time that we upgrade the power.
So it's like the spinners and the weavers. Remember we talked about that last week?
No.
I'm really into Elizabethan era history right now. And it takes 12 people spinning thread full time to employ one weaver. And if there's a backup, the whole industry gets fucked. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, basically. So,
Spinners and the weaver. That's how old I am.
And the market hasn't figured out that the amount of energy it's going to take for AI to do what it wants to do with all these data centers, that it's going to take longer to get the power there. You see what I mean? They haven't figured that out yet.
He talked about that in that video, that like he was predicting that this was going to collapse in 2 years. This is why shorting things is dangerous, because you have to know the timeline that there's going to be, the bottom's going to fall out of the market. And so he's like, well, thank God I didn't short NVIDIA or anything like that.
Michael Burry did make a bundle shorting Palantir last week, though.
Yes, but he's been wrong on a lot. I mean,
he was right once.
He was big right.
Reinhardt sent $50.
Hey.
I think Cardinal Richelieu said it best, quote, the difference between treason and patriotism is only a matter of dates. When our time comes and we win, then we will be the patriots and they the traitors. Very true. Speaking of cardinals, did you see the Pope? Pope came out, said good thing. Very nice.
What? I don't care.
Yeah, he said that countries have the right to control who goes in and who goes out.
Wow, what a revelation.
Very well, but this is the kind of bullshit that people freak out about. They go nuts. They're like, oh, look, the Pope is for third world immigration. It's like, okay, so he hasn't reinstated or he hasn't, restated the basic Catholic teaching on immigration in like a couple of months. Now all of a sudden you think he's like pro open borders.
Can you get really obsessed with Elizabethan history so that I can ask you what is and is not anti-Catholic propaganda?
I can try.
Okay.
There was a lot of that.
I'm pretty sure the entire movie Elizabeth with Cate Blanchett is just anti-Catholic propaganda.
I haven't watched that. Is that like a period piece?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's also filled with historical illiteracy.
I've been watching Andor. One of my friends from church said it was really good, so
oh, okay.
I've been watching that. It's pretty good for Star Wars.
Rebecca trying not to make Groyper sound gay challenge impossible.
Robert sent $25 a massive.
See?
Massive healthcare gap.
Groyperism makes you gay. There it is.
Stop it. A massive healthcare gap I know about just fired hundreds of staff out of New Jersey, including doctors, just nuked the whole state. Now we're getting calls about wrong meds being prescribed by AI to our patients. This is crazy dangerous. How is this legal? I didn't know that they approved AIs to be a doctor. What the fuck?
Crazy. Yeah, things like this are going to happen.
Holy shit. There was a country that made AI a legislator. Did
Seriously?
you see this? Oh, yeah. We didn't cover it on the show. Let's see. Country.
Did you see that video that went viral, or that picture that went viral on the Twitters, where that guy had a bottle of his prescription medication and then there was like one green pill in it and it was a Dilaudid?
Oh, Dilaudid?
Yeah.
Those are strong.
I wonder if this was some AI, if they're using AI in pharmacy. Yeah, things are going to happen.
That's not good. Yeah, here's the world's first AI-powered AI-powered minister tests the future of government. Where was this? Albania appointed an AI system to a cabinet-level position. Holy fuck. The Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence was itself artificial intelligence.
Is it Mecha Hitler? Because I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, it's not Mecha Hitler.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's definitely WEF gay democracy crap. Anyway, yeah. How about not? Can we like hold up on making AI like the fucking leader of a country or like a prime minister or whatever? That's crazy. These people. Tomahawk sent $10. Recently saw a video by Jason from No White Guild. He was talking a lot of shit on you guys. Would you ever have him on for a debate?
Oh, yeah. Why was he talking shit on us?
I don't know. He doesn't like me.
I've been on his show
never
before.
Liked me.
I thought we were in good standing.
No, he's a douchebag.
Why?
Because he's called me a fed and said all kinds of dumb shit about me.
Are
I've
you
never
a
met
fed?
the guy. No.
Oh.
If I was, I would imagine I'd actually have like some fucking money.
Well, what did he say about me? That sucks.
Oh, well. It's okay.
Yeah, it always hurts my feelings though when
These
like,
people, these are the ones that claim that they're white first or whatever, and then
I claim that I'm white first.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, one of these people that claims that they're like white first, but they really just hate like Christians. They like hate Christians more than anything. They hate Jesus more than they love white people.
Oh, that really bums me out.
Yeah, it is what
he
it
also hates Joel Davis.
Yeah. Do you have super chats on your channel?
Yeah,
I think you did. You had one about Spotify.
You guys help us get to our goal here.
No, it's not going to happen.
Come on.
Very low energy show. We got no motion.
What?
Where's our motion?
I thought it was a high energy. I thought it was a great show.
It was. It's also depressing though, you know?
Well, the state of the world is depressing.
Hell yeah, it is.
Help us get to our goal. My husband is calling. I don't even think he knows I have a show right now.
Let me pick up. Put him on speaker.
No.
Do it.
He'd be so mad.
That'd be funny.
Okay, what's the date today? The 19th.
19.
Albert McAteer. Are you going to post this quicker on Spotify? You have foreign viewers, nearly 10 p.m. in Wales at the moment. I would like to listen to it on the way to work tomorrow. You didn't read my message to Keith Woods, so make it up.
I did. I sent.
Get it sorted, Rebecca.
I sent
Are
your
you
message.
a money changer?
I sent your message to Keith, and he responded with a laughing, crying face because it was a joke. So he thought it was funny. And yes, I will get this up faster. I will do my best.
I'm sorry that we missed your super.
Yeah, we've got no supers on entropy.
It was
by the
on
way.
purpose because we really hate the
Super
Welsh.
chat entropy blackout.
No, it's okay.
Unless there's something wrong. Was
Welsh
that
are
it?
chronically pissed off because Americans don't know it's a country separate from England.
What are you talking about? I see those flags all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah, I know too. David Harris, Cameron,
Uh-oh.
I recently read Clash of Civilizations and Unrestricted Warfare. They definitely go together with your theory of mass movement, white collectivism. I will send this his way. My apologies.
Nice.
Thunderstorm. Ben is communal for his own and capitalist for everybody else as a weapon. Yes. That's exactly it. Free Gen X Bear, Thomas the Train.
Thomas the Train.
Is he talking about Thomas Massey?
Love that show. Ringo Starr getting a little saucy, singing about trains.
Saucy. Ray Finkel. Get out of here, Ray. Finkel.
Hey,
What are you? Are you lost?
Send us some more money.
The entire U.S. economy is AI slop and dick pic apps. That
true.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you got to keep going back to that GDP article that fucking blew my mind. This guy, the data centers are most like 92% of US GDP this year. That's fucked.
That's so
That's
crazy.
so not good. It's not even funny.
All right, you guys, get some last minute donations in here. This is paltry.
Yes.
Troy says, as repulsive as the Zionists are, they are fighting hard against the racial communists. If USA falls, they will lose their gravy train. We turn to South Africa. Grim. Either way. No. As repulsive as the Zionists are, they're fighting hard against the racial communists. What does this even mean?
Who is this?
If the USA falls, they lose their gravy train and we turn into South Africa. Grim either way.
Yes.
Yes, but the defining characteristic of Judaism is hubris.
Yes.
So they also don't seem to have a lot of foresight. That's why they keep overplaying their hands.
This is all totally predictable. As a matter of fact, people have been saying this shit for years and years and years. That the way that they're treating the Palestinians is going to bite them in the ass. I mean, this has been a full-on conversation since like the early 90s.
Yes.
You know, my entire adult life, we've been talking about that. I started wearing a keffiyeh back in like 2010.
People really hate that.
People do hate that. I also want to try something interesting. Please follow us on Nostr. Download the Primal app in your app store, Google Play or Apple or whatever. And once you've created a Primal account, you can follow us. You can scan the QR code and follow us. And then you can send us zaps, which is fun. I don't think you can do it on here, but you can on your iPhone app. You can send a zap with messages.
Yeah.
Over Lightning.
Zap us on the lightning.
And I'm just saying that because our Bitcoin Super Chat app is dead in the water right now. We are in between servers. We're migrating that to Rumble. So if you want to send us some Bitcoin zaps that we will read, we can do that on Primal.
Oh, okay. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, it is my mom's birthday.
Happy
so if
birthday,
you're watching,
Mom.
Mom, I love you. Happy birthday. I'm sorry for turning you into an anti-Semite in your golden age. It will be one of my life's greatest regrets. Red pilling. Don't red pill your mom.
Oh, totally. You got to have red pill
man.
parents. It is nice to have red pill parents.
Yeah.
I know my parents are probably watching right now.
That's true. She's so incredibly supportive.
Of me.
Yeah, my mom loves you.
I know.
Yeah.
Be more like Rebecca's mom, everybody.
She supports
I don't
the
fart
show.
nickels.
I think that she's on like $200 a month for Subscribe Star.
Yeah, she is.
And then if I don't toe the line, if I'm like a little too soft on Jews, she FaceTimes me. She's like, I saw that you said X, Y, and Z, or that you referenced this Jew, or that you were talking positively about Blumenthal. I'm gonna get rid of my support. I'll fucking do it. I'll do it. Like, oh my
Great.
God.
What we do need to do is we need to create some separate funds.
Yes.
I really want to start playing in politics.
Oh.
So like
Why?
we need to get a billboard for that Barbara Ehart bitch. You know, put up a big billboard and say Barbara Ehart is Israel first, America last, and park that bad boy down in Twin Falls, Idaho, paid for by the Backlash. That'd be nice. We could do things like that.
Stop bringing me into these Idaho politics games. I don't care.
Would be fun. Be sure to check out on our website
I have one more.
all of our affiliate links. Bitcoin is dipping. It's a good time if you wanted to pick up some sats for cheap. If you liked Bitcoin at 110,000, why wouldn't you like it at 91,000? More bang for the buck.
Or 9,000 where it's going.
I don't know about that. You can also buy Bitcoin hardware from Blockstream. Thank you. Every now and again, somebody buys one of these, and that's what pays for our servers. So
Indeed.
we are appreciative.
Last one's from Maddie Eyes. I haven't heard you guys say it. You might be interested to know that Alan Dershowitz, while on television, defended public showings of snuff films under the First Amendment so long as the victim was not a U.S. citizen.
Whoa, what?
I haven't seen that, but I did see him today talking about how one of the victims is motivated by anti-Semitism.
Dershowitz is so fucked up. Can we deport him into the sun too?
Yeah, really. Deport him into the sun. I like that. That's crafty.
SpaceX.
Crafty,
we just need to load them all on a nice space. We could, you know what? Fuck it. We could even send them to Mars. We'll give them their own planet. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
How about
really.
that for a final solution?
It's the Madagascar of the planets. Let's do it.
Barefoot sent $10. Rebecca, want a brownie?
No, stop trying to feed me.
Okay, hold on. Look
I'm
at
still
this.
recovering from Halloween candy and the In-N-Out burger that I ate 2 weeks ago.
Look at this. Oh my God. It was so good.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Beef bourguignon with Idaho mashed potatoes, a Waldorf salad, and a champagne brownie.
I've had her champagne brownies. They are.
They are so
bomb.
good. Look at this beef bourguignon, though. I mean, I've never had.
Do you know what pisses me off about your wife?
It's so good.
Every time I'm around her, it makes me realize that if I were a man, I would have so much help and assistance. I could be so much more productive.
I couldn't do what I do without my wife.
No, she is just like the most efficient little worker bee.
She's awesome.
She's highly intelligent and highly competent and so low on the neuroses scale
Yeah,
that it's amazing she's a woman.
I know. It's amazing that I tricked her into marrying me.
I know. I want to be her, but I also want to marry her.
No, yeah, you.
But then I want to be friends with her too. It's
You
weird.
want a wife.
She's an amazing, tall woman.
To all the 30-year-old men out there, get a wife.
Yeah.
But
Can I
don't
tell
get
her
a
birth
bitchy
story
one.
really quick? Is
You
she gonna
can't
get
a-
mad?
No, probably not. Just don't get. You can't get a bitchy woman. You got to find a woman that is willing to let you lead.
Yeah.
Not in debt. White. Doesn't really matter the religion. You can work that out.
You can figure it out later. Yeah.
You can force them.
So his wife was, she was 41 and a half weeks pregnant with your youngest, right?
Yeah.
So I'm messaging her and I'm like, well, how are we going to
It was my birthday.
do the show? Yeah. Cause I was worried. I was like, if I had just given birth, and she had home births, if I had just given birth, I'd be like, if somebody fucking comes over, if anybody comes into this house for 2 weeks, they are going to get murdered. So I'm like, well, what should we do about the show? Like, I'm trying to be accommodating. I'm like, okay, we can cancel it. Let's just be flexible. We'll figure something out. Like, this is your time. And I want you to, and she's like, I need 8 hours on the concrete floor. And then I'll just go upstairs. Do not reschedule the show. Don't interrupt your programming.
Well, that's not even, you're starting at the after birth part. So that night, I'm pretty sure that was a show day. I'm pretty sure we had a show that day.
Did she hold in the baby until our show was done?
No. So we did the show.
Yeah.
And then it was my birthday.
Yeah.
So she's like, it's okay, go ahead, go off to the cigar lounge. So I went to the cigar lounge, hung out with my buddies, closed the place down. It was like 10:30 at night.
I would slit my husband's throat.
Came home, and then she's like, oh, hey, honey, happy birthday. I've got a T-bone steak for you. Whips up a T-bone steak, eggs, bacon, wonderful. We lay down at about midnight, and at like 12:30 maybe.
It was 12:45. You sent me a text message because I was going to watch your kids.
12:30, she gets up. She's like, oh, I don't really feel good. I got to go to the bathroom.
So they text me at 12:45 because I was supposed to watch their kids, and I'm sleeping. I didn't hear my phone, and then I look at my phone 30 minutes later, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna head over and everything like that. Baby's already born.
Yeah, the baby came at 1:25 a.m. on 1/25/2025 during a planetary fucking alignment, and labor took about an hour and a half.
Dude, she's so good at it.
The handmaiden
The handmaiden that they have enslaved.
The birthing maid, yeah, the
midwife.
The midwife, thank you. Slave labor showed up, and I think the baby popped out about 10 seconds after they walked in the door. I almost birthed it, brought it in.
Yeah, she's just
then,
so chill during pregnancy and birth.
So we were up from like 12:30 to maybe 3:30 tops. Back in bed, right back in our bed. Wake up the next day, young kids come in. It's like, hey, look, you got a brother now. That was it.
She's just incredible.
It's
She's
awesome.
like a birthing. The only other person I know like that is my friend Robin Reilly. So with her third birth, which was totally unassisted, she free birthed, just like your wife did accidentally. She sends me a picture of her after. I hope she doesn't mind me telling people this. I'm going to anyway. I'll get a text from her later.
What has this show become?
What has it become? She sends me a picture of tells me she's in labor, and like I'm texting her husband for a little bit and sending her funny memes, like the anti-Semitic memes and stuff to keep her mind off of it.
Nothing like it.
And then they text me and like everything went totally fine. She sends me a picture of her in her birth bath after she had delivered the baby and the placenta. There is no blood, nothing. It's a totally clear birth bath. And like her hair is all wispy and beautiful. She's breastfeeding her baby and she's just like, like she looks gorgeous and thin and there was no bleeding. In the meantime, I'm pushing out like my 9-pound baby. I have a hemorrhage.
9 pound. My wife would love to have a 9-pound baby.
Oh, that's the other thing.
Joey was like 11 pounds.
He was 11 pounds, 4 ounces. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, marry a tall woman.
I married up too. She's like 4 inches taller than me.
That can't be true.
3. It's fine. Nice birthing hips.
Yeah. Yep. You want a woman that was evolved to birth on a pub floor.
My wife was like designed to make babies.
Yeah.
We're going to have like 9 or 10.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be great. We're going to be poor. We're going to be like barefoot.
That's okay.
Hillbillies.
It's all right.
But then think about all of the hundreds of thousands of people that will have to deal with like my offspring over the course of their lives.
Are you doing this to punish humanity?
Yeah, I am.
All right, are we good on super
I'm building
chats?
an army. No, Alt H sent $25. Beep, beep, boop, boop. Thank you.
My baby does that. She's like,
bloop. And we got another one
hey.
from Onidrim.
Thank you so much.
Who sent $100. Thank you for the huge, massive, ginormous super chat.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
All right. Are we going to have a better show next week?
I thought this was a great show.
This was okay.
Did you guys like it? I hope you liked it.
Let us know in the comments below.
I'll read them and I'll cry myself to sleep.
Please like the video.
Don't
Share
ask
it.
me how old I am and then ask me if I'm 50.
What else? Oh, a couple of other housekeeping things before we wrap it up. I think I did all the ads, right?
Did we do Above Time Coffee Roasters?
We did. We talked about them a little bit.
Oh, right. The blonde.
I drank some of their coffee, which was very good. And if anybody is in town and around this weekend and you want to do a little meetup, we can do that at the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee.
Did you hear Cameron talking about how the show's professional? You literally burped.
I apologize for that. November 22nd at the Altar Church, there's a legislative town hall. You'll remember a year ago, this is the same legislative town hall that crazy bitch got dragged out of by her hair.
It's already that time?
It is already that time of year again. So if you would like to come and get informed and say hi, I will be there. It'll be fun. We'll get to ask our legislators all kinds of important questions, like when are we going to get more Holocaust educational material? I'm, of course, curious about a sound money bill, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Considering we have a surplus in this state.
That is astonishing.
Yeah, I know. And then even
They're
more
going to use it on Holocaust education.
2 years ago, Brad had the chance to, Brad Little, the governor, who I may or may not be running against in this upcoming election, Brad, instead of signing the bill to convert some of our budget surplus to gold, he vetoed it twice, and then gold went up like 150%. So fuck you, Brad. Fuck you. And
okay. Jake from Ethno State Farm was okay. Not your worst or your best. I've been here for every episode, so I know.
Oh, thank you. Book Track Groove sent $10. Yes, he has ridden a horse. Blonde ice bath.
For what?
I don't know what the blonde ice bath is
I heard
about.
that ice baths are not good for women because it raises their cortisol levels too much.
I don't understand these videos of pregnant women getting into these ice baths. I don't feel like that's nice or good for like
the baby.
Yeah. I mean, like you can't even go to the gun range when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to anyway.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I've been told.
I think I accidentally did before I knew I was pregnant with him.
She's also a crack shot. My wife.
Ugh.
Crack shot.
I believe it.
Yep.
What a good woman.
I love her.
You know, your chickens chased me out the other day.
Yeah, it's because I needed to feed them.
They chased me to my car and then followed my car.
I fed them. They're okay. They're doing good now.
Fucking hate chickens. This new world that
Chickens
we're going to
are
have
great.
to live in. Every time I leave your house, I'm like, get away.
Hey, listen, when the collapse comes, I'm going to be set up great. I'm going to have chickens, going to have a fraternal social network there to, catch the thing. That's who you want to buy the dip on something. Buy the dip on having friends, having competent friends that can do shit.
How do you buy the dip on that?
I don't know. You build a fraternal network around you.
See, I like to have attractive younger female friends so that I can bring them into my harem. That is real wealth.
Okay.
And be their madam.
See, I like getting other like-minded, similarly aged guys that want to do things politically, but they don't want to be turned into me.
Oh,
so then they just give me money, and then I do the shit for them and take the heat.
So you're using men for their intellectual value, and I'm finding ways to use young women for their sexual value and to profit off of it.
That's bizarre.
But true.
Okay.
This is how we're going to survive.
What did we learn on today's episode of The Backlash?
Nothing.
Brought to you by the letter W. W for winning.
This is The Backlash. You can find all of our links on thebacklash.net. Follow us on X at Real Backlash. We have shorts to come. We've got interviews to come. We will see you on Monday with David Irving. See you. Bye-bye.
No, Adam Irving.
Adam Irving. Sorry.
Just clarifying, Adam Irving, David Irving's son, author of Nuremberg and
we need to prep for this interview, clearly.
It'll be great. Who else do we have? We have Father Maudsley coming up.
Oh, nice.
The folks over at DD Geopolitics are going to be coming on the show next month.
Kevin McDonald.
We're working on Kevin McDonald, and we still got room for one more. So it's going to be a big thing. And then I guess we should do it now. It's been so kind of la-di-da the past few minutes. May as well do some housekeeping. I'm going to be out of town.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm going to be out of town on, let's see, December 1st and December 3rd, we will not have a normal show.
We will have a pre-recorded show.
We will be pre-recording a show and releasing it on that week. But December 1st through the 4th, we'll be in Chicago with the treasurer of the America First Foundation doing important work.
Yep.
For the movement.
Why am I saying yep? Yeah.
We'll probably, I'll see if I can get Vince to do a video
Okay.
while we're out there. It'll be fun. We'll go gang hunting.
Cool, cool.
And with that,
we will see you on Monday. Bye.